How are you feeling today? Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. Have you ever wondered what makes men actually give princess treatment? Because if you knew exactly why and when men give princess treatment, wouldn't that make it so much easier for you to receive that from the men that you're dating? It's exactly why on today's show, we're going to be discussing how to receive princess treatment from men. That way you can be the queen who has all the other peasants wondering how you got the men that you date to be willing to crawl on glass just to get a whiff of your seat. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. How are all of you beautiful human beings doing today? I am so glad to see you and spend this time with you. We're going to have a great show. Who we got here today? So I see we got Scotty here. We got Zyra here. We got Asset here. We got Lilo here, like Lilo and Stitch. We got Tutu here. We got Ashley here. SH is here. Rachel is here. Megan is here. Kayla is here. Welcome all you beautiful people in the TikTok chat. Who we got in the YouTube chat? I see we got Viola here. We got Iris here. We got Kubi here. We got Ivy here. Nikisha West is here. We got Cosmic Glow Up, one of our channel members. Tracy Niles, who's always here right on time, first thing. And also we got Olivia, another one of our YouTube channel members. And of course, I cannot forget, chat. We got the most amazing Missy America holding down our YouTube chat as our one and only moderator. And shout out to SH also, who's our TikTok moderator. I don't shout her out as the moderator a lot, but she's our TikTok moderator along with Sharice. But Sharice, she rarely be here, okay? But SH is always here. So thank you to both of you amazing humans. All right, let's get started. So today is going to be a very important special day because I know a lot of you want princess treatment, and I'm here to help you, and I'm here to help you from a man's perspective. So I'm trying my best to give you insight on not just how to receive princess treatment from any guy, because the reality of it is the good men that you should be chasing, this will come natural to them anyways. But I also want to make it clear to you how to inspire princess treatment within men and keep it ongoing. So it's not just something that happens to you once in a while. It's something that feels like it happens to you everywhere you go with any man that you date. I want princess treatment to be something you receive from all men, not just one man sometimes every now and again after a fight, okay? So first things first, in order to do this, and this is probably going to be the one that you don't like, the first thing you need to do is start treating yourself. I know that you probably hear this a lot when people say princess treatment, but the reality of it is, and I need you to pay attention, because if you don't listen to what I say from this beginning part, you're going to do all the rest of this wrong. You must treat yourself like a princess. Why? Because when you finally receive this treatment, right, you need to feel comfortable that this is something meant for you. I really need you paying attention here. I know we just started, because if you don't lock in and focus on what I'm saying here, you're going to miss the purpose of everything else. You cannot attract princess treatment into your life from the men that you're dating if you don't believe that you yourself are a princess. I know that it sounds silly, and I know that it sounds super heebie-jeebie and hippie, okay? I promise you there is so much truth to this. If when men are treating you well and going above and beyond for you, that feels uncomfortable for you, or that doesn't feel real to you, or that doesn't feel like it's meant for you, there's a problem there, okay? There's a big problem there, because you can't continue to attract that into your life if you don't feel like that rightfully is yours. Because anytime a guy treats you well, anytime a guy goes above and beyond for you, you're going to feel like, oh, this was meant for someone else. This isn't my story. This isn't my relationship. This isn't what I deserve. Someone else should be getting this, but I don't deserve that. And you want to know what's going to happen? You're going to get exactly what you believe that you deserve. So if you only feel like the only type of relationship you deserve is a horrible man who treats you horribly, you go up and down with, it's a toxic relationship and a toxic cycle, it looks and feels like a teen drama, that is exactly what you will get in your relationships. If you only ever feel like you should deserve princess treatment and you deserve to live in a fairy tale where your guy goes above and beyond for you, that is the reality you will live in. That is the relationship you will see. If you want your life and your relationship to be like a teen drama, you want it to be toxic where he yells at you, you yell at him, you guys fight each other, you guys yell at each other, then you make up and stuff like that, cool. You can have that, and that can be your reality. But I want you to understand you are in control of your reality. So if you know that you want princess treatment so badly, and that's the life that you want to live, you actually have to start treating yourself that way. Alexa, I think, right? Or Relax already says in our TikTok chat, you have to start manifesting that by treating yourself that way. And I know that it sounds weird because you're like, oh, wait, Tomisin, if I'm manifesting it, why does it matter if I treat myself that way? It matters because you need to actually believe this to be true. And you need to actually believe that you deserve that type of treatment. And you can't even because what we're trying to do here is we want princess treatment to not be something that you feel doesn't belong to you. And the reality of it is, if you're manifesting something, when you finally receive it, but you don't feel like that's really you and what you really deserve, or that doesn't feel normal to you, you will stop receiving it. Okay. The true way to manifest something, especially in this case, when it comes to princess treatment, you need to live in it, soak in it, believe that it's yours, so that when you receive it from another man, you know this to be true and this is normalized for you. This isn't like some new world where you're like, oh my God, I never receive good treatment. Oh my God, a man never takes care of me. Oh my God, this doesn't even feel real because this is nothing that I should be experiencing. You will stop receiving that. Okay, you need to be sure and positive and 100% that princess treatment belongs to you before you'll ever get it. And because we don't just want you to receive princess treatment one time and then it's over for the rest of your life. We want you to receive princess treatment all the time for the rest of your relationships with any man that you're going to date. And if that's going to be the case, that has to feel real to you. And you start making it feel real to you by treating yourself that way. So you have to start going out and doing all the things that you would like a man to do for you. So if you want a man to buy you some gifts, you buy yourself some nice gifts. If you want a man to take you shopping, you take yourself shopping. If you want a man to take you to fancy restaurants, you take yourself to fancy restaurants. Anything you would love for a man to do for you, you begin doing it for yourself. Now, I know you're thinking, oh, Tomisin, I don't know if I have the money. I don't have the resources. I'm dead broke. I don't have any of the things that I want a man to do for me. I want you to start somewhere, even if it's somewhere for doing something just kind that's free. Okay, why? Because we want you to get comfortable being in the environment that you want to be in eventually. So if you know you want to, be hanging out in fancy restaurants and get taken on fancy dates, you save up, use some damn money, and take you and a girlfriend out, right? Your girlfriend can pay for her meal. You don't got to pay for hers. You pay for your meal and your girlfriend pays for hers. But I want you to actually sit in that environment. You want to go on a fancy, seafood date where you got the seafood tower, there's the crab legs, they got the shrimp there, they got this there, they got that there. You want to go there and you want to experience that. You want to experience Nobu and have a man take you out to Nobu. I want you to take yourself out to Nobu. Get comfortable. Take your IG pictures at Nobu. Feel around what it feels like Nobu. Breathe in Nobu's air, okay? Feel like you actually belong here. Why? Because when you start building with men and they start treating you that way, this will actually feel like it belongs to you. It won't feel like when you're sitting there at Nobu like, oh my God, a guy's actually treating me well. Oh my God, a guy's actually taking me out. Oh my God, a guy's actually spending $300 on a date with me. This does not feel like it should be me. This is someone else's story. You'll never get princess treatment that way, okay? One, because you're going to be manifesting the opposite into your life when you don't believe that this is authentic to you. And number two, when you're sitting there, the men that are giving you princess treatment, and this is where I want you paying attention because this is where the man's perspective comes in. Because I know other women will talk about this, but I want to try my best to give you a man's perspective as well. See, the thing is, when I give you princess treatment, I'm giving you that princess treatment because I believe that's what you deserve, and that's the standard that you abide by and live with. That's your expectation of any man you're going to be in a relationship with. So that's why I give you princess treatment. Now, if your response to me giving you princess treatment is that, this doesn't belong to me, or this isn't authentic to me, or I don't really deserve you to be treating me this way, then I'm going to receive it as, oh, your value is actually less than, because I'm giving you princess treatment because I feel like your value is this, but you don't feel like I should be giving you princess treatment, or you seem to be like shocked that I would give you princess treatment or do these things for you. In fact, you feel uncomfortable with me doing all these things for you. So that makes me feel like your value is a bit less, because if you felt like you deserve this, if you felt like this is where you're supposed to be, then you wouldn't have a problem with being here. Okay. And this is where I want you to understand, guys also perceive it as, hey, if you don't believe that this is you or authentic to you, then you don't even believe in your own value. So then when I look at you, right, and I see you don't believe in your value, how am I supposed to believe in your value? Because what you're essentially saying is, I don't deserve to be treated this well, because I don't think I'm as amazing of a woman that you would give this treatment to. If I was your dream girl, or if I was your celebrity crush, definitely it would make sense that you would go all out and balls to the wall and do your absolute most to impress me. But I'm just a regular girl. I'm just an everyday girl. I'm just a normal girl. Why would you do all of this for me? Mistake. We're going to delete that from your memory, okay? We don't want you thinking like that. We don't want your mindset in that place. I know it's called the Players Club, but we talk about the mind and the emotions and spirituality and manifestation a lot on this show, okay? Mistake. We don't want you thinking like that this doesn't belong to you, or that when a guy goes above and beyond for you, that's not your story. That is your story. Men treat you well, and they go above and beyond for you because they see that much value in you, period. Period. Okay? You're very demure. You're very mindful. You're very cutesy. The guys see that in you, and they want to show you how much they care and appreciate you, which is why they treat you accordingly. That's it. Okay? You do not get nervy or confused when guys go above and beyond for you. That's the lifestyle you're accustomed to living. Okay. And what I'm trying to prepare you for when I say to treat yourself that way, what I'm trying to prepare you for is to prepare your mind to soak in that environment, that you don't feel uncomfortable when you're in that environment. Right. It's almost like I'm trying to prepare you to live a luxury lifestyle. So I want you to start doing things that people who are living a luxury lifestyle would be living. That way, when you're finally experiencing a luxury lifestyle, you're not sitting around like, oh, I'm a tourist. Right? You ever been to, if any of you live in a big city like New York, Los Angeles, Toronto, Miami, right? You know what the tourists look like, because they go to all the places that you never go because you're a local. And so you know that all the most lame, boring places are all the places that the tourists visit. The tourists be looking around, they come to Toronto, they're looking up at the CN Tower, they're taking pictures of the CN Tower. They're posing next to the CN Tower, and you're like, I pass that every day. In fact, I never go there. It's really boring and really unappealing, okay? Right? All the monuments and landmarks in your big city that you and all the other locals never spend any time at, you guys don't care about that because you're not tourists, right? And you can tell who the tourists are because they're so mesmerized by all this mundane, regular stuff that you see every single day, okay? And I say that to say it's the same thing with you. We don't want, when you step into the world of princess treatment, we don't want you looking around like, I'm a tourist here. I don't belong here. I'm going to take pictures of all the tourist attractions because I'm never going to get this experience again. I need to soak this in because this is really doesn't feel like it's real. And I don't think I'll ever be here again. So I got to get as many pictures and videos as I possibly can for the gram. No, you're a local in princess treatment land. You're a local in princess treatment world and princess treatment city. You go to the local spots. You're always there. When you pull up to the princess treatment club, all the bouncers know your name by your first name. Okay, they let you walk right in. You skip the line at the princess treatment club. That's how much you're there. You go right to the bar and you order you a princess treatment drink, and the bartender gives you your drink, and he doesn't even need to ask you what you want because he already knows you're regular because you're always there. You're at the princess treatment club, at the princess treatment bar, right? Ordering your princess treatment regular because you're always there. Everyone knows you there. When you walk out, everyone says what's up to you, and everyone says goodbye to you when you leave, okay? Everyone is your friends there. You're friends with all the workers. You're very familiar in Princess Treatment Town, at Princess Treatment Club and Bar. Everyone knows you, okay? You're not new here. You don't got to take pictures of it. You're not mesmerized when you pull up. You already know what it's going to be, and you walk right in and you skip the line because that's where you belong. That's where you always hang out. Okay, this is what we want for you. And this is what I mean when I say start treating yourself that way. Okay, we want you getting familiar with Princess Treatment Town and Princess Treatment City so that everything else you do from here will always work to your benefit and feel authentic to you. Okay, we talk about authenticity a lot in the show because I never want any of you to do things because I said it, but it doesn't feel authentic to you. I want you to take the information that I give you and figure out how to mash it up and use it for yourself in a way that feels authentic to you, not in a way that feels inauthentic to you. It's the same reason why I never tell you guys, hey, go wear a red dress and a blazer and go sit in a country club or at a cocktail bar to get men and find men, because if that doesn't feel authentic to you, none of that is going to work. Okay. And I want everything that we talk about to feel authentic to you and who you really are. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys so far and why this is so important? Okay. Oh boy. It's like when I give better information, I get thirstier. I think it's like, it's like draining my soul. So it's draining my throat chakra and I get thirstier. I'm giving energy to you through the screen, right? Anyways, so treating yourself is number one. Now, number two is strategic storytelling, okay? Now, I want us to be very clear here. I've talked to you about storytelling before, and one of the reasons I'm bringing it back up is because it can serve so many different purposes for you. Because what you don't want to do when you go out on dates, you don't need to be pointing fingers at the guy and saying, hey, I met you on Hinge, man. And I want you to know, man, that you got to treat me like this and that and do this and do that and do this and do that if you're going to date me. So make sure you write this down. Where's your notebook? Do this and do that. And you're not going to get what you want out of men by doing that on dates. But what you can do in the process of meeting someone and they're learning you, you can use storytelling to your advantage to let men know what you expect, what you're used to, what you're accustomed to, and the lifestyle that you've been living since before you met them. Why? Because it's a great way to help them see if they're planning on doing something different or not treating you according to how you've been used to being treated, then they're probably not going to get access to you. And that's very good. You want men understanding that you have standards and expectations, and if they can't meet those, they probably should exit stage left before they even waste any of your or their own time. Okay, so storytelling is great. Now, the strategic storytelling that you're going to use when you want to receive princess treatment, remember I've talked to you guys in the past about not making the mistake of spilling and trauma dumping on the first couple of dates how horribly your ex treated you. And the reason I say that is because you don't want to make it clear to men that in the past relationships or with your most recent ex that he's cheated on you, done this and done that horrible thing, and you forgave him over and over and over again. Obviously, the relationship ended, so obviously things that weren't positive transpired, but you just don't want guys thinking that you allow people in your life to walk all over you and you forgive them over and over and over and over again, okay? Right? Because that just tells him that he should treat you that same way, or he can at least treat you that same way. Now, very important. In the opposite sense, I want you to take the opportunity when you're on dates to use storytelling to tell men how the last guy or the last few guys went over the top for you and did the most. So this is where you can become strategic and handpick stories. Hopefully you have at least one or two stories of a time when your ex did something over the top or really just a really nice, kind gesture. Okay. Even if it wasn't, he went to the tallest tower and, he spent $1,000 on a date or something like that. Just handpick some stories of a time that your ex did something really nice and really thoughtful for you. It doesn't even have to be something where he spent a lot of money, and it doesn't even have to be something where it was so big and so extravagant and so huge that it just took 10 years of planning, okay? It can be something smaller as long as it shows thoughtfulness and the fact that he really was trying to put his best foot forward. You want to handpick those stories of your most recent ex, and if you can't find with your most recent ex, do the ex before that or the ex before that, and you want to present to him those stories of the times that you essentially received princess treatment from other men. That way, he starts building a narrative within his own mind. This is where the psychology comes in of dating. He starts building a narrative within his own mind that, oh, oh, I see now, right? I see a theme that all the guys in your life, they took care of you, they took you out, they did this for you, they were taking care of you emotionally and financially and all this other stuff. So now, as a guy, when I'm hearing this on a date, now I'm starting to get a clue in, hey, either I'm prepared to do that and I can meet her exactly how she's been experiencing her relationships, or if I'm knowing that I'm just here to waste her time, I'm also getting the sense that that's not me. That's not me. And you're going to start noticing the guys that's not them. You're going to start noticing them get uncomfortable when they hear you getting a lot of really good over-the-top princess treatment. See, if they know that they're not ready to give you princess treatment and they're hearing all the ways that you've been receiving princess treatment, you're going to see it on their face, in their body language, and hear it in their words, in their response to you. Oh, he did that for you. Oh, a guy paying for everything just kind of seems a little bit over the top. I just don't think that 50-50 is that big a deal. You know what I mean? Right. And you'll see it. You'll start to feel it, because when it's in line with how he feels about how he should be treating you, he'll be like, oh, 100%. I agree with that's great. I love that. And he'll actually enjoy hearing those stories, because he'll be like, I can do that same thing. And I expect to do that and want to do that same thing for you. Now, if he doesn't want to do that same thing for you, or he's unprepared by that, or that, like just said, or they get intimidated by that, that tells you something as well, that he's not even in a position that he's mentally or emotionally prepared to be giving you that type of princess treatment. Okay, just think about the logic. If I'm a really rich guy and I'm sitting on a date with you and you're telling me how your ex took you to Nobu and he got you a diamond bracelet, and I'm a super rich guy, I got millions of dollars, I'm thinking, oh, that's great, that's awesome, I can get you a diamond bracelet too, I can take you out to Nobu too. That doesn't bother me to hear you talk about how another guy went over the top, when I know I have the ability to do the same thing and I'm prepared to do the same thing. Now, if I know I'm not in a place to be able to do that, I'm not in a place to be able to take care of you, I'm not in a place to be able to treat you and do the things over the top like that last guy did, I'm going to start pushing back against that. I'm going to say, well, that's a little bit too much. That's a little bit extra. Why would he do that? Why would he do this? I just don't feel like that's necessary. I'm going to start making excuses of why that's not necessary for a relationship, or that's, a little bit over the top, because I want you to believe in the idea that you shouldn't expect that from our relationship, in this relationship that we are in right now. Okay, right? So you want to make sure that you're using strategic storytelling and telling guys the stories of all the times, right? Or at least handpicking a few of the times where a guy went over the top for you. We want guys getting the sense that this is what you're accustomed to. Remember, we told you you're a regular in Princess Treatment Club, in Princess Treatment Town. You sit at the Princess Treatment Bar and the bartender gets you your regular drink because you're always here. So now when you're using storytelling, you're essentially letting him know, I hang out in Princess Treatment Town, I go to Princess Treatment Club and Bar, and I get let in by the bouncers, and I sit down and I get my regular drink all the time, okay? You're essentially just helping him learn you and understand you to be a regular customer or a regular citizen of this area. So it's not new to you to receive that from men. In fact, it's become your expectation, okay? Now, and storytelling is a perfect way to say that to men without telling that to them, okay? And making it feel like you're talking down on them. You're just sharing your experience, right? Now, like I said, the guys that will be offended by your experience are the guys that know that they can't give you or aren't prepared to give you that experience. Guys who are not offended by that by you expressing that experience, it's because they know they are also prepared to do that and capable of doing that, okay? Nothing angrier, it's a side note, but nothing angrier than a broke man who has nothing going for himself hearing about all the ways you got all this amazing treatment from other guys, because they're only going to talk you down and try to talk you off the ledge of feeling like that's necessary in a relationship. Think about it. If I was a broke man, God forbid I'd ever be a broke man, never in my life. If I was ever that, I would be upset hearing a woman talk about all the things she's got from another man and all the ways that he's done things for her, and I know that I can't do that and I'm not capable of that and I have no plan to ever be able to get to that point. That would be very, very painful for me, okay? So take notice of that whenever you are talking to guys about the experience that you've had in your past relationships, okay? Does that make sense to you guys so far? right? Someone said, Tommy, are you a Capricorn? No, I'm a Taurus, okay? I'm a Taurus, but rising Pisces and a Sagittarius moon, okay? So do with that information what you will. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys so far, right? So number one is to treat yourself. Oh, someone said examples of stories, okay? Let me give you guys a quick example of a story that would be great that you could do, okay? So let's just say, for the sake of example, your ex, I don't want to make it so over the top, because I was going to say, oh, like maybe he paid your bills or something like that. Let's just say, for the sake of example, your ex, one time he paid for a really nice trip that you wanted to go to. Let's say you really wanted to go to Paris, and he was like, oh, surprise, we're going to go to Paris for a week. I know that not a lot of guys would do this, but let's just imagine here. And you can use that as a story that you use to tell the guy that you're on a date with. Yeah, see, this is where you get strategic. Just when you're having conversation, try and steer the conversation so when you bring it up, it feels natural. Hey, yeah, so honestly, when I was with my ex, I remember this kind of reminds me, so let's say you're at a restaurant. Oh, this fettuccine Alfredo looks just like the fettuccine Alfredo that I had when I was in Italy. My ex actually, he surprised me with a trip. Somehow, like literally it was just out of the blue. He surprised me with the trip, and he took me to Italy, and we just went there for a week. And I swear the restaurant that we were at, the spaghetti looks just like this. I can't believe it, okay? Now, you'll notice this, okay? I want you to notice this. Take notice when you're telling this story, because you're telling it for a reason. You'll see him eating his food, and you'll see if your ex paid for a trip to Italy. That's like 4,000. That's thousands of dollars. I ain't gonna be able to pay for no trip to Italy. You'll see his fork start shaking. Your ex did. You mean to say you guys planned a trip to go to Italy, right? Yeah, like both of you. No. He paid for the trip. Like he just, all his money. He was like, he wanted to surprise me. We went for the trip. He paid for everything. Yeah, the whole thing, the hotel, the flight, the booking, all the stuff. Is he a travel agent? He got a discount, right? No. It was all on his. He's got this American Express. I don't know. It's a platinum card. Looks really shiny. It's like metal. I don't know. So he had that one, and he was like, yeah, no, we go. It doesn't really matter. He's like, nice. Cool. It's whatever, right? And you'll notice. You'll know. See, the same way when you are showing guys that you're used to spending time in Princess Treatment Town, going to Princess Treatment Bar, ordering Princess Treatment drinks, guys, you're also going to get a sense when you start telling them stories about your experiences with your past partners. You'll get a sense if that guy also spends some time in Princess Treatment Town, at Princess Treatment Club or Bar, buying Princess Treatment drinks, okay? I'm just using that as an analogy to help you understand. If he's used to that type of treatment and you tell him about your experience in that type of treatment, he's not going to glitch. Right? He's not going to seem uncomfortable. Now, if he's not used to giving girls that type of treatment and you're talking about that type of treatment, he's going to seem very uncomfortable for him. You're going to start seeing sweat beads on his ear. You're going to start seeing him stutter or look around or feel a little bit uneasy, right? And you're going to notice that. Take notice of that, okay? Right? Hannah says, how about my ex let me have his card on his phone? Perfect. And I don't want you guys to all think that it all has to be money related, okay? It can just be really nice gestures or thoughtful gestures or going above and beyond, for you in the relationship in general. It doesn't have to be something like, oh, he spent $1,000 or he did this or he did that. It could even be something like, oh, my ex literally planned me a surprise party and he brought and gathered all my friends. And then when I walked in, I was there, all yelled surprise, and I didn't even know that it was coming and stuff like that. It can be things like that where someone is showing you how much they care about you, going over the top for you and trying their best to make you happy. That's all I want you to be thinking about. I know when we hear princess treatment, everyone's thinking about money, 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 money. That's great. But princess treatment is also just the treatment in general and the thoughtfulness of I want to do as much as I possibly can to treat you well and make you feel good. Okay. That's also that. So whatever story you have in terms of that, use those stories. Now, all of your stories are going to be slightly unique to you. Like someone just said earlier, I think it was Hannah. Hannah said she had her card on her boyfriend's card on her phone. So he probably just let her swipe that whenever she felt like swiping it. That was her allowance. All gravy. Okay. So whatever your story is, not all of you are going to have that, but whatever your story is, use that to your advantage. Okay. I would hope with your ex or at least one of your exes, you at least have a couple of stories that you can share. We need to reevaluate your relationships and the guys that you choose. If you're looking back on your past relationships and you feel like you have absolutely no stories to share because none of your exes ever did anything for you whatsoever, that's a whole nother problem in itself. We need to change the type of men that you're spending your time with if that's the case. Okay. Right. So I actually want you to spend some time. Mary J just said in the YouTube chat, I finally thought of a story. This is what I want you guys to do. If you don't know one off the top of your head, I actually want you to be thinking about what that story is going to be and what you're going to use, because you want to have that in your pocket, ready-made, that you're going to say on that date, because you want to start getting this in his mind early on, right? One story, if at least one story, hopefully you have multiple, but at least one story, and it doesn't even have to be for the most recent ex. It can just be from multiple exes. Okay. You can just say one of my exes, blah, 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 blah. Or one time my, boyfriend at the time took me to blah, 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 blah. Okay. You're just talking about your experiences. That shouldn't bother men. Does that make sense? Right? AJ says, I don't have stories to share at the level I want to be at. So this is where you have to customize it for yourself. Right? Customize it for yourself. Now, I'm never going to advise any of you to lie. Okay. Because I just can't feel that it's ethical, excuse me, for me to be talking to all of you and then advising you to lie. I just don't feel comfortable doing that. So if rather than lying, let's find a story that is true to you, that actually happened to you, and whatever level that's at, just tell that story. Okay. So even if it's something small, just tell that story. We'll start small somewhere. Now, like I said, if you don't have any stories or you feel like your stories are so small because the men you choose do so little for you, that should also be ringing alarm bells in your mind that, hey, I need to start choosing better partners or, better men, because if I'm only choosing men that do less than the bare minimum for me, that's another whole nother problem in itself. Okay. So that actually should help you realize if you're, spending your time with the wrong type of guys. All right. So number one was to treat yourself. Number two, strategic storytelling. Now, number three is what I'm going to call, this is going to sound interesting, but number three is what I'm going to call dog treats. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to offend the men. I know there's no men in here, but this is the thing that I want you to understand. You want to start holding your appreciation, love, and affection very dearly, right? And you need to start valuing that because you have a lot of power in that. The reason I say that is because if you can understand how to be the most impactful with your words and your affection and your appreciation, you can really get men to move and shake mountains for you without ever having to move a muscle. But you got to start getting good and strategic about when and where to give that and when to take it away. I really mean that. Okay. So when I say dog treats, we need to start. The reason I'm saying that is because when you are training a dog, okay, men aren't dogs. I just want you to understand the analogy and the concept. When you are training a dog, dogs don't actually know English or Spanish or Italian or Portuguese or whatever language you speak, okay? They don't actually know that language, right? For real, for real. What they actually understand better than they understand the language that you're speaking, they understand your emotion, your tone of voice, and your body language, okay? They can actually read that. So when you say, good boy, good boy, good boy, and your voice is so high-pitched, they can actually read into that. And they get excited too because they start to feel like you're excited. It's the same way if you've ever seen videos like this where you can actually say bad things to a dog in an excited voice and they start getting excited as if you're saying something good. You can be like, oh, you dumb dog, you're such an idiot dog. Oh, aren't you such a dumb dog? And they'll get excited and happy as if you're saying something positive, because they don't understand the language which you're saying. They understand more the emotion which you have behind the words that you're saying. I know it sounds, crazy, but trust me, it's true. If you've ever seen videos like that, or you have a dog, you know what I'm talking about. So I say that to say, you have to understand that the way that you appreciate guys is not just through your words, but it's also through your body language and the emotion behind your words. And the even more important part that I want you to understand is when you're training a dog, to train them between the difference between right and wrong, you want to be making sure that you give them positive affirmation when they do something good, and you give them negative affirmation when they do something bad, okay? So the dog treat is just a function of something that the dog can understand, that when they get the dog treat, which is something that they really want because they're really attached to food, they understand, hey, if I want more dog treats, I continue doing this action or activity. And you use dog treats as a way to help dogs connect good behavior, right, and good action with dog treats. So they know they want more and more dog treats. So if they want more and more dog treats, they need to continue this particular behavior. And training a dog is essentially helping them connect this behavior with dog treats or food, right? Because that's the actual thing they're attached to, is food, right? And you're attaching the food to the good behavior so that you have a good dog that wants to be good all the time because they always want food, right? Good food, at least, right? So it's the same thing with the guys. Not that the guys you're dating are dogs, depending on who you're dating. But what I'm saying is you need to start understanding that that you want to attach princess treatment with the appreciation that you give him when he does the right thing that you're looking for him to do, okay? So what I mean by that is when your guy goes over the top, or actually is putting his best foot forward, or really trying in the relationship, or giving you that princess treatment that you want, you make sure that you show him the appropriate amount of appreciation and affection for how much he's doing and how much you love the way he's treating you, the same way you would not show him appreciation or be upset at him if he were doing something bad. And I really see the reason I call it dog treats, and I actually want you guys paying attention to this point, because I should have even called this stop pooping time at the very beginning. The reason this one is so important is because when you understand how to do this strategically, because you're doing this in relation to whatever he's doing for you. So if he does more, the appreciation is more. Now, if he's doing something mundane or the bare minimum, you're not going to be going over the top with your appreciation. Your appreciation always has to be relative to how much he's doing for you. So let me give you an example, okay? I always tell you guys, you don't need to be giving random strangers compliments. The guy that you go on one date with that you just met on Hinge, you don't need to be telling him, oh my God, it's so nice for you to take me on one single date. And you're the most amazing man since sliced bread because you took me out on one single date after meeting me on Hinge. Okay, we're not doing that, okay? The reason I don't want you doing that is because that makes it seem as if, like, what, do you never have guys ask you out from Hinge? Okay, it's one date, right? So like I said, it's always going to be proportionate to how much he's actually doing for you in the date. We don't need you going over the top. Not that you shouldn't show a guy appreciation or say thank you for the date. That's nothing wrong with that, being kind and courteous. However, you want to make it seem like that was your expectation as well. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the date, and I love you for I love that you took me out on this date to this nice place. But you also want to make it seem like I've been here before. I appreciate what you did, but I have been here before. Now, as time goes on and you're building more and more rapport with this guy, and he's doing more and more for you in the relationship and being more and more consistent with you, now you want to level up your appreciation. Now you want to level up your what's the word I'm looking for? Affection, right? Because you kind of couple the appreciation with the affection, because that does something for men. You have to understand, giving princess treatment is amazing, and guys love to give princess treatment to the women that they care about and want to be with. But you do need to understand there is a give and take process to a princess treatment. And so if you want to sustain that and continue getting that for long periods of time, you want to make sure, you see, this is where some of you make mistakes. Because when you're receiving princess treatment, you get it, but you forget that he needs something in return for that. Okay, there's an exchange here. Even though he's giving this to you out of the kindness of his heart, appreciation and acknowledgement and affection is free. So when you're happy with what he's doing, and you want that to continue, and you're noticing that he's going above and beyond, you need to do something for him by showing him how much you appreciate what it is that he's doing. Now, you don't do that by just being like, this is really nice. Thank you for the dinner. Okay, bye, right? You want to make it seem like, no, I actually take notice of everything that you've done here, right? Every step of the way and all the work that it took. And I acknowledge how much work you're putting into our relationship. And I appreciate you so much for doing that. Okay, remember, this is proportionate to how much he's actually doing. You're not just giving this to him at the very beginning when he hasn't earned it. But as he's earning it and as he's doing more and more and more, you're always trying to give him more and more and more appreciation. Jules says, is this live? 100% live. Okay, I can see all your questions, right? Because it's so important that you encourage him to continue doing this and you give him a dog treat every time he does these things for you. Because yes, men love giving princess treatment when they're prepared to do that. But they also love feeling appreciated for giving the princess treatment and recognized for that. So you know how when you're really upset that you sit a guy down and you tell him, hey, I'm really upset about this, or I'm not happy with this, or I'm not happy with that, or you're doing this wrong, or I'm mad about this, or why don't you do this, or why don't you do that, right? You know how you sit him down and you talk about your feelings and all the ways that you're unhappy? I want you to take that same level of seriousness when you want to have a talk, okay? Right? You know how you want to have a talk whenever you're upset and things like that? I want you to take that same level of seriousness and have a talk just for the times you want to appreciate him for how much he's done for you, okay? And how much he keeps on doing for you, okay? And I know you're a woman, so you're thinking, Tomisin, like it's not, is it that serious? Show that appreciation, because some of you are like, how do I show appreciation? You're thinking, do I have to buy him something? Do I have to do I have to do a song and a dance? No, you all you do to show appreciation is you look him in his eyes and you sit him down the same way you have seriousness when you want to talk to him about something you don't like that he's doing. You sit him down and you look him in his eyes and you restate everything that he's done in this, I guess, past day or this past week or past whatever that you want to show him appreciation for. And you take it seriously to acknowledge all the stuff that he does and even the work that went into all the stuff that he did and how, and even if you want to say, yeah, and I know you probably had to go through this and go through that just to make that happen and the probably issues and the problems he had to solve to get that to happen. And you acknowledge everything that he's been doing for you in the process of giving you princess treatment, okay? Eve says, it gives him a God complex like he is a hero. It's precisely why I just told you, maybe you weren't here 30 seconds ago, I just told you all, do not do this for men who have been doing less than the bare minimum for you. You're not just giving this appreciation and affection away for any man who does anything nice for you, okay? You're giving this affection away and appreciation in proportion to what he is doing for you. Are you following what I'm saying? So I'll give you an example. A guy taking you out on a regular date after he meets you out on Hinge, you're not going to say any of the stuff that I just talked about, okay? Now, let's say a guy you've been dating for the past 6 months, plans a really special date with you. He's like, hey, I just want to surprise you and we're going to go to this really nice place. He buys you a dress or something, or he shows up at your door with flowers. He takes you to a really nice place and then afterwards he plans a picnic with you and then you guys are looking up at the stars and then he drives you home and it's a really nice night and he really was really thoughtful and respectful the whole night or just went over the top. You know when a guy is actually going over the top or doing even more than necessary. You take that opportunity to say, hey, I really appreciate you for what you did, and you state back exactly what he did. You always, I'm going to get mad. Do not make the mistake of only sitting him down and talking to him seriously when you want to complain about something or you're upset about something. Nothing wrong with sharing your emotions, but you also need to give him the opposite feeling when he does the right thing. Because I trust you me. Trust you me. You might not think you're doing a lot when you show appreciation to guys for doing something good for you, but you are. and you're giving them something, you're giving them a dog treat every time that you do this. I'm telling you this from a man's perspective. This is one of the things and one of the points that I really wanted to give to you, because I know for other people, for other women, they might not understand the importance of this because they're obviously not a man. Nothing wrong with that. I'm giving you this perspective because I want to ensure not only do you get princess treatment once or twice, but you continue receiving that, and I hope for you, you can receive that in increasing amounts as your relationship goes on. So remember, if you're going to receive that in increasing amounts, it can't just be give, and he doesn't receive anything in return. Now, your version of giving back to him is not by treating him like a princess as well. Your version of giving back to him is showing him appreciation for the princess treatment that he gives you. And trust me, you're thinking that's not enough. I've got to do this. I've got to do backflips. I've got to do cartwheels. I got to do this. And I promise you, all you got to do is show him the appropriate amount of appreciation and take the appreciation seriously when he actually goes through the effort of giving you princess treatment, okay? So like I said, the same way you're going to sit down and you're going to state out all the things that you're upset about if you're really upset at him, when you're really happy with what he's been doing and he's been going over the top for you in this relationship, is the same way you sit him down, look him in his eyes, and you acknowledge all the ways that you're so happy with the relationship and everything he's been doing. I can assure you, any man, any mature man, I don't care who he is, I don't care how big or small his ego is, right? He will feel good to his core and his soul, knowing that you think he's doing such a great job and treating you so well. I can assure you, any man who has feelings and emotions will feel so amazing to hear that from you like that. It is like a dog treat. It's like crack, okay? And see, this is the thing. You can now attach the feeling that he gets when you show him that level of appreciation to giving you princess treatment. So remember how I talked to you guys and I gave you the analogy of the dog? The dog doesn't actually associate good behavior with being a good dog. The dog associates getting food with particular actions. So when you attach continuously these particular actions to getting food, they continue doing those actions to continue getting food. So for men, you can just see it as when you show them that they're going to get a lot of appreciation and affection from you and love and to be seen and to be acknowledged when they do these particular things. What do you think they're going to continue doing? Those particular things to continue getting that same type of appreciation. So understand the feedback loop is so important. You want to get princess treatment, but you also want to give your man something when he gives you princess treatment so that there can be a continuous feedback loop that's everlasting forever. Okay? Does that make sense, right? Sienna says, are words enough? Words technically are enough, but words with your body language, like you actually are taking this serious. Okay, so it's not enough to just say, I'll give you this example, okay? And this should help you understand why words, it's technically just words, but words and body language is going to change how it makes them feel. I want you to tell me which one would make you feel more appreciated. Okay, so this is number one. We'll say version and scenario number one. You do something nice for me and I'm like, oh, thanks for doing that thing. Yeah, appreciate that. Anyways, yeah, I gotta go. I gotta run. Now, number two, okay? So that was scenario number one. Now, number two, you do something for me, and I'm like, no, sit down for a second. I want to talk to you about something. Look, I want you to know how much I appreciate everything that you've done for me in this past week. I came home from work, and you cleaned my whole apartment. I was stressed, and you rubbed my feet, and all the stuff that you did to really take care of me, knowing that I was stressed out from work. And I know that you didn't have to. And on top of that, I know that you had work and you had school and you're studying for your master's. And I know that you already have so much on your plate. For you to take that time to be thinking of me, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you and everything that you do for me and our relationship. Because I don't know if I could really go through these seasons without you, truthfully and honestly. Which one makes you feel different? They're really just words, but they're words attached to an emotion, a body language, and it gives you a particular feeling, okay? So you see that, and you see how that can make you feel differently. I say that to say, or I demonstrate that to say, you want to be aware of giving that to men when you actually are appreciating what they're doing for you, right? And they're actually going over the top. You see how that kind of might have felt over the top. So what I just did there might not be appropriate for every situation and every circumstance, but you want it to be relative, right? So you're going to show a lot of appreciation when that guy goes over the top, okay? And vice versa. You don't need to be giving that to guys who you just met, okay? So this is something after you build rapport, you're going to be showing appreciation as he's doing a lot of stuff. Zuby said that made me cry. Okay, that must have been really powerful. But if that really does something to you, and imagine I'm talking to you through a screen, right? And I'm not your boyfriend. At least I don't think I am to you, okay? So, and if that already makes you feel a way, so you can only imagine how it would make someone else feel if you were talking to them that same way, and giving them that same level of focus and appreciation, and how that would make them feel if they were actually in a relationship with you. Okay, so understand how powerful that can be, and you're a woman. And I'm telling you, for the men, it's even more powerful. So like Aset just said, it will touch their heart. So be cognizant of that, because getting princess treatment is not just always receiving. It's also understanding how to give the men who are giving you princess treatment something in return for the effort that they're putting in the relationship, so that they continue doing that. Okay, right? Does that make sense? Sana says, what if he gets comfortable after showing him appreciation? See, the thing about it is he can never get comfortable, because what you're doing for him is giving him a dog treat. And so when you give him a dog treat, he will always see the appreciation. And I know this is going to sound horrible, but the appreciation, you're not actually doing it. You're doing it for him to do it for you. But what it's doing for him is it's feeding his ego, right? It's feeding his ego to know, oh, I'm actually doing a good job. I am a great boyfriend. I am a great man. But what you're actually simultaneously doing as you're giving him the positive feedback, you're enforcing it in his own mind that he does the right things and he does good things. But what that does is, as his mind begins feeling like I am the man and I do amazing things and I give my woman princess treatment, he starts to feel more like a man. So what do you think he does when he starts to feel more like a man because he's being appreciated like one? He acts more like a man. So there's this like positive feedback loop that creates a snowball effect where, because he feels like such a manly man and you kind of build him up like this, like, oh, I do a lot for you and stuff like that, right? He starts to feel like, okay, so I should keep doing more, right? And it starts to build this train where he feels good about doing more for you, and he feels like such a man that he's now of the mind frame that I got to be doing more. I got to be doing this and I got to be doing that. And trust me, when you get the ball rolling like this, it becomes so easy, and you'll be like, I wish I would have known this earlier. This is just so easy. I don't even have to do anything. All I do is appreciate him, and look at how he's doing the most. Okay, I promise you, it's like a superpower of yours. Okay, right? Dog treats. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but so treat yourself was number 1, strategic storytelling number 2, dog treats number 3. Now, this can be a really interesting one that can kind of be attached to dog treats, but in a way it's a little bit separate, and it's a little strategic one that you can use. Because remember, we're not just talking about how to get princess treatment, we're also talking about how to inspire that in men and get more of it on a continuous basis. So another really cool and neat trick that you can use when giving men princess treatment is to brag with your friends, in front of your friends, right, about him. Okay, so number 4 is to brag with your friends, and you should want to be strategic about it, because you're smart. Okay, so you're not just doing things for no reason. You're going to give a little strategic, humble brag about the things that he does for you in front of your friends or his, whichever friends. This is so good because remember, like the dog treats, it's another version of a dog treat, except this one is indirect. So you're going to show him appreciation to him, but you're also going to brag about the things that he's been doing for you to other people in front of him. See, but the smart thing, because you're in the Players Club, so you don't just do things willy-nilly for no reason. So you're giving a little humble brag to his friends or to your friends, right? And it doesn't seem like you're directing it at him, but obviously he's there, and you know that he's there perceiving everything that's happening. So as you're doing that, he's starting to think, yeah, right? So just imagine this. I want you to imagine this, and I want you to take this situation in. So let's imagine your man, let's just say for the sake of argument, he booked you a trip to Bali, okay, whatever. And he booked you this trip to Bali, and you guys haven't gone yet or whatever, and your guys are about to go. You go and you guys are at a party, and this is where you get strategic. You're talking to friends and things like that. And you're like, guys, you won't believe what he did for me. And this is your chance. Okay. You want to make him feel like the man. This man, I came back from work and he literally came up to me. He's like, hey, I want to surprise you with something. I know you've been working hard and I know you need a vacation. He got us tickets to go to Bali. I literally started bawling my eyes out. I couldn't believe it. Girl, oh my God. This man is unbelievable. He's going to be standing there like, they're going to be like, bro, you got our trip to, yeah, just a little trip to Bali, type shit. Yeah, she was feeling a little stressed out. So, I had to make sure she's taking care of, I take care of my woman type. And then he's dapping up his voice. Yeah, that's something light, yo. Ain't no big deal type. I wasn't even gonna talk about it type. Why you telling all our business for? I wasn't gonna talk about that type. Yo, I'm telling you, okay? I'm telling you, all right? It might seem silly because you're thinking, who cares, okay? Like, it's not really gonna be that big of a deal. But remember, when guys are giving you princess treatment, you also want to make sure that you're giving them something in return. Okay, not that it all has to be a transaction, but you have to understand it feels good to give. It feels even better to give and be appreciated for giving, okay? And feel like the man for giving. Because remember, you want princess treatment from a masculine, manly man who can take care of you and protect and provide for you. So notice how you can make a man feel even more masculine and manly and like he's taking care of you when you show him that level of appreciation. Yes, it's going to prop up his ego, but see, this is the thing. You're propping up his ego to actually serve yourself. We won't tell anyone about this, right? You're being strategic about when you do it and how you do it. Because when you do it and you prop up his ego, you're not propping up his ego to leave you. You're propping up his ego that, hey, you do so much for me and you act like you are the man in this relationship and you take such good care of me. You spend all this money on me and you're making him feel like the man and boosting his ego to do what? Spend more money on you and take care of you more. So who actually wins there? Okay. Don't let people fool you and trick you that giving men compliments is bad. It's not bad. You just need to be strategic about it and do it at the right time in the right way. Okay. Right. Because you can really get a lot out of men if you do it the right way in the right situation and the right circumstance. Okay. Right. Boosting his ego is not all bad, especially when you're boosting his ego to do more for you. Because you only end up winning when you're boosting his. Imagine this. You're boosting a man's ego that spends money on you to spend more money on you. So who's actually winning here? Okay. Actually, you're both winning. In fact, okay. You're winning because obviously he's spending more money on you and he's winning because he feels better about himself and being the man in this relationship. It's a positive feedback loop for everyone. So you have to understand that when all of these things are working together, everyone wins. It doesn't have to be you winning or him winning. You can just get strategic about understanding how to get both of you there in a place that you're happy because you're receiving princess treatment and he's happy because feels like he's doing the most for you and he's actually being the man for you. Okay. Does that make sense? Right. Deli says, if he's already spent money, how do I make him spend more money? See, this is something that you have to be training him in this from the very beginning. Okay. Where you're constantly giving him that positive feedback loop and appreciating him for doing that. So if he's been spending money and you haven't been appreciating him or you haven't been giving him the positive feedback for doing that, that's what you have to do first before you start thinking about extracting more money. So because if you're extracting a lot from him and he's giving a lot to you, whether it be financial wise, whatever it may be, and you're not even giving him that appropriate amount of proportionate appreciation in return, he's not going to be inclined to continue going over the top for you, right? You have to be doing this from the very beginning. And like Bree says, giving that positive reinforcement. Remember, you're doing this truthfully, as selfish as it sounds, you're really doing this for you because you want a particular outcome. So don't get lost in the fact that, oh, I don't want to go over the top appreciating him if he's giving you princess treatment, yeah. You better make it over the top. If he's giving you princess treatment, he's going over the top. Now, if he's doing less than the bare minimum, of course, you're not going to be, praising a man for literally doing nothing. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. But when he does do a lot for you, you want to take that same serious, focused energy to him the same way you would if he was doing something bad. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. So we talked about treating yourself, strategic storytelling, and then we talked about dog treats, and then bragging with friends. Now, number five, you never should be begging. Okay? I never want you begging for princess treatment. This is not good. The reason I say I don't want you begging is because when you begin begging for princess treatment, one, it's not going to inspire men to give you more of it, okay? And number two, what it's going to do is it's going to show them you're acknowledging you're not receiving that. And in the process of you acknowledging not receiving that, if you continue to stay, it's going to show him that he can continue to treat you like that. You're not going to beg a man to give you princess treatment as if that is the only man who will ever give you princess treatment. Remember, you always want to be feeding him a particular perspective and way of looking at you so that he treats you based on his own perspective of you. So I say that to say, remember, you're a regular customer and a regular citizen of Princess Treatment Town. You go to Princess Treatment Bar, you skip the line because all the bouncers know you there by your first name. You go right down to the Princess Treatment Bar, and the Princess Treatment bartender gets you your regular drink because you're always there and he always sees you and all the staff know you. Okay, you're a regular here. So you're not begging men that you're dating to give you princess treatment simply because, oh, I like you. You're cute and you're handsome, and I really want our situation to work. So even though you're not giving me princess treatment, I'm going to beg you, please give me princess treatment. Please treat me well. Please treat... No. You can't treat me well. Perfectly fine. I go somewhere else where the men know how to treat me well and give me princess treatment. If you're not prepared to do that, that makes you uncomfortable, you don't have the funds for that, big man, cool. I'm going to go somewhere else. Don't feel bad about not giving, your Squirtle away or not giving access to the soy boys who can't do nothing for you, okay? The guys who are too sad, too miserable, too just everything horrible to do anything for you, don't feel bad about giving them nothing. Okay, you give yourself to big dogs who can actually take care of you. Okay, or the guys who actually have the mindset and the mind frame that, hey, I'm a provider, and even if I don't have a lot right now, I'm going to do my best for you of what I have right now. Doesn't even have to be financially, but I'm always going to be thoughtful on trying my best in this relationship. And eventually I will be a big dog, because some of those men who might not have the funds as a big dog right now have a big dog mentality, and they will eventually get there and everything will be good. So it doesn't just have to be with the man who's already a millionaire. Okay. I don't want you thinking just like that. Right. But you'll have to be able to identify the difference between a big dog or a guy with a big dog mentality versus a guy who literally doesn't want to do anything for you. Because I promise you, the guys who are always trying to do the bare minimum for you and are always frustrated at the idea of like going over the top for you, those guys, even if you gave them $1 million, would have a problem paying for bills for you. Okay, you can't work with those guys. Okay, we're not trying to get you with those guys. Guys who are like, oh, well, doing things for women, that's weird. Doing things for my woman, that's not masculine. Just don't even bother your mind with those. We'll put those guys to the side, okay? The guys who are actually prepared to do things for you, put their best foot forward in the relationship, whether they're a big dog because they got big dog funds right now, or they're just a big dog in mentality and they will eventually become a big dog with funds. Either way, those are the only men you focus on and give your time and energy to, okay? All the rest, the soy boys, the microwave men, the men who can't do anything for you or they find it painful to do stuff for you, put them to the side. They get no access to you, okay? They can wank themselves in the corner to you giving yourself to the big dogs, okay? That's all you're doing, and that's all you're going to be spending your time doing. And I promise you, you'll see princess treatment a lot more in your life, okay? Someone says I call them sissy boys, all right? Does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions about the 5 we just discussed? So number 1 was to treat yourself. Number 2 was strategic storytelling. Number 3 was the dog treats. Number 4, you brag with your friends. And number 4, you never, ever beg. Okay? Uh, Ivy says, when you marry for money, you really earn it. So yeah, and I want you guys to remember too, like, obviously not every man you meet is going to be rich upon meeting him, but you also have to get very strategic and smart at understanding some men that you meet might not be rich when you meet them, but they might have the mentality of a man who will become rich, and then he'll become rich and then you'll be happy. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're meeting guys, because there's a mentality there that exists in all men who become successful. And trust me, that you can meet men who might not necessarily be over the top rich when you meet them, but trust me, they're on their way to doing that. And that's why I always want you guys understanding if a guy has direction, if he has a plan, if he what his path to success is, what he wants out of life, because I promise you, those men with directions and plans and know what it is they're striving for and they're going for, I promise you they will get there. Okay, the men who have no plan, no direction, they just go every day willy-nilly. I don't know what I want to do. I'm just here, just living life. I'm just taking it day by day. Those men won't end up anywhere. Don't even bother wasting your time with those guys. Okay, they're just gonna waste your time. Okay, the same way they're wasting their own. Okay, so just be very aware of that. It's not always, oh, I just got to find a man who's already a billionaire and a millionaire. Okay, you can actually find guys who you can grow with that will become that as well. Okay. Does that make sense? Iris says, question, when men realize we're not used to princess treatment, won't he get excited to show you a whole new world? I mean, theoretically, okay, this is something theoretically that could happen, but I would never advise for you guys to try to present yourself as if you've never received princess treatment, because the reality of it is, guys really, this is the thing. Guys always believe that they're better than your last ex, or the last guy that you dated or spent your time with, whatever. They always believe that, no matter who they are. They always think they have a bigger schlong. They always think they're taller, better smile, more charismatic. That's what they always believe. So you want to already set the bar high so that he, see, this is the thing. Getting in the Players Club, you start understanding you can use ego to manipulate getting out of men what you already want. Okay, understand men come packaged with ego. And if you understand that, you can understand how to manipulate that, tweak that, work with that so that you can get what you want. So I say that to answer Iris's question, that when you set that bar high, knowing that men meet you and start dating you with the mindset that I'm better than all your last exes, and you tell them that the bar is already up here, what do they think they're going to... Shawty, let me tell you how I set the bar up here. You was getting this and that. You was getting clothes. Yo, I might buy you a whole fit. Yo, let me take you shopping. We talk. He ain't no big dog. Come on, shit. The way I got you, nah, you ain't going. I'm gonna be better than your last for real. So think about that, right? He also is attached to his ego where he wants to be better than the last guy, right? He doesn't want to hear about all the ways you got treated so well and then be like, yeah, I'm gonna meet below that, because then that's him acknowledging to himself that he's not as good as your ex. Are you following what I'm saying? Right? So you want to attach yourself to his ego and use that to your advantage by saying the bar's already up here. So unless you're going to admit to me that you're not as good as my ex right from the jump, which is a huge ego hit for men, then you're going to meet me up here. In fact, you're going to surpass whatever my ex did for me. It's the same reason why if you set that bar super low and you say, well, my last relationship and my ex, he barely did anything for me. He's going to say, well, cool. I'll just do maybe just a little bit above what he was doing. It's still going to be pretty much nothing, but I'm just going to be a little bit above that. And I'll still feel good about myself because I'm better than him. Right? Guys only just want to feel better than your last exes and the last guys you've been with, or whatever your expectation is or what you're used to. Okay, so if the bar's down here, he'll just be like, yeah, okay, I'll meet it right here. And if the bar's up here, he'll be like, okay, I gotta be up here, because being down here will be an acknowledgement of I'm not as good as your last guy. Okay, you don't want that, right? Does that make sense? All right. NW says, isn't princess treatment kind of the same as him putting you as a priority? No, it's not the same, because when we're talking, so you can put someone as a priority, but you're not necessarily going to be going over the top. Princess treatment is like him really making sure that you're taking care of financially, emotionally, and physically, and really going above and beyond on the providing aspect. Okay, so obviously we're talking about financially, but we're also talking about emotionally. We're also talking about just being thoughtful towards your relationship and really going above and beyond with his thoughtfulness of you and in your relationship. You will feel the most in your feminine when you're receiving princess treatment. Okay, it's not the same as treating someone like a priority, because you can treat someone like a priority without giving them princess treatment, if that makes any sense. All right. So this is, we want you to get over the top princess treatment. Okay. Does that make sense? Candy says, my guy have a plan and is working hard, and he plans on our future. He is fine with princess treatment, but it doesn't come in the present time. It's always in future talks. Well, here's the thing, Candy, and I want you to understand, he can also give you princess treatment in his own way, in a way that actually is possible for him. And like I said, princess treatment doesn't always have to be spend $10,000, okay? Princess treatment can be just getting you flowers on a random Tuesday, okay? Princess treatment can be just getting you a small little gift on a random Thursday or Friday or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Princess treatment can be relative to his own resources. At someone, Bree even said one perfect, right? Getting a mani-pedi now as his treat, right? It can be something small that's in his wheelhouse, that's possible for him in the moment, okay? Doesn't have to be super extreme. Obviously, as he makes more money, becomes more of a boss, he'll be able to do more for you. But the mindset is the most important part. And also, as Candy mentioned, you also want to see at least some sort of effort towards that and the resources that he has now. Nothing wrong with him planning for the future and wanting to give that to you in the future, but there should be some things that he can do for you in the present that is also in line with princess treatment, even if it's not spend $10,000, okay? And I don't think that that's at all unreasonable as an ask or as an expectation, okay? You can go to the store and get flowers for $20, okay? Now, if he doesn't have $20 to his name to spend on flowers, or $20 to buy you a small gift or a small chocolate, something that you actually like or you would appreciate, then there's a bigger problem, because he probably needs to work on himself until he's got $20 to spend on something small. If he doesn't have $20 to spend on something small, maybe he needs to start putting his focus in one place and one place only, okay? Also, one thing that I take note of, if guys are talking about the fact that they're wanting to give princess treatment, they want to do this for you, they want to do that for you, and they're not in the position that they want to be, perfectly fine. But if they're saying that and then they're also spending their time doing a bunch of pointless activities like playing video games, okay, just wasting time doing all these different things that don't matter or don't make them any money, and they're spending a lot of time going out with their boys, getting drunk, going to the bar, going to the club, playing video games, and they're not actually focusing on whatever it is that they say they want to be doing in the future, leave those men alone, because they're not actually serious about anything. The men who are telling you they want to get somewhere and they're putting effort towards it and you're seeing progress, those are the men you spend your time with, okay? That's a big dog mentality. Big dog mentality isn't just wishing upon a star that something good will happen one day, okay? That's not big dog mentality, okay? Candy says, exactly. I want to see something at present too. I don't want a $10,000 or luxury dinners. I just need some quality time spending together that isn't that expensive, especially for his girlfriend. That's perfectly understandable, and that should be your expectation. So if you're continuously not seeing that, then that's another issue in itself, because remember, guys giving princess treatment, that's a state of mind. So that's not something that he needs $1 million to be able to do, okay? Does that make sense? Heba says, I just started talking to this guy and he got me flowers, concert tickets for our first date, and send me money for my nails and eyelashes. How do I make sure this continues? Rewatch this exact show and you make sure that you're showing him that appropriate amount of appreciation for what he's doing for you. Not that this is something totally new for you that you never expected and never thought would be possible, but that you acknowledge all that it is that he's doing for you, so that he understands that you know that he's doing those things and you know how much effort he's putting in to you and this relationship, okay? I seen someone earlier say something that was Someone said, Tomisin, I am not attracted to men from my own race, only outside of my race. What do you think about this? Date whatever your preference is. What? Why are you asking me what I think? That's what it matters. What you think. If you like different type of men, whatever type of men you like to date them. Okay. If you like soy boys, date them. I don't know why you like soy boys, but date them. Whoever you like to date those people. Okay. Olivia says, I love video games, though. I want my man and me to cuddle up and discover things together. I want him to show me how smart he is and how he can show with me. I know, guys, I diss video games a lot. It's not because I think video games are the worst thing ever, because obviously, I'm a guy, so I used to play video games when I was like, 13 or 14, whatever. I'm just saying the process of playing video games that don't make you any money and spending hours a day doing it, but then you're also acknowledging that I am not where I want to be financially or just, career-wise. So if there's still work to be done for where you want to be, why waste that valuable time and hours on a day doing something that doesn't pay you back, okay? Maybe I'm just dumb and I'm an idiot, but I just don't understand how that math makes sense. If you're a millionaire or you're, balling or you got a lot of excess funds and, money's not really an issue, sure, spend hours of your day playing video games if that's what makes you happy and you're fine with that. I don't see a problem there. I just find it very strange when people say, oh, I'm in a horrible situation. I don't have extra money. I can't do this, especially when they say things like, hey, I can't come see you because I have no money. I can't do things nice for you because I have no money. I can't take you out on dates and everything centered around their life is, oh, I don't have money. I don't have resources. I can't do this and I can't do that. Okay, so then why are you spending any time of your day playing video games when those hours should be spent figuring out how to get more money? If that's like the root of all your problems, it just that mentality should tell you that those guys aren't going anywhere. Okay, because you can only progress by taking action. You can't progress by complaining about your situation. Okay, just something that bothers me because and video games is one of the easiest pacifiers for men. So that's why I don't like that. Okay. Olivia says, nah, I feel if they are broke, then they have things to do, not playing video games. 100%. Right? Video games are not for broke men, in my opinion. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about, but usually the only people that get offended at things like that are the people who are wasting their time playing video games. Okay, that's the story for another day. All right. So I say that to say, now we're going to hop into our next segment of the day. I'm pretty good on time today. I'm pretty good. I don't got through this fast. All right. Our next segment of the day is going to be our react segment. So everyone spam up headphones and camera emojis in our chat here because I'm going to be reacting to some TikTok clips around the web. All right. We're going to be seeing what some of these people talking about relationships have to say. Maybe some of them are smart. Maybe some of them are cray cray. Let's see what we got here to start off with. So we did, I'm trying to see what the last one, okay, we're here.
These are the top 3 signs that the guy you like is micro-flirting with you. As a relationship therapist, I've worked with a lot of shy people. Micro-flirting is the #1 method a guy is going to use to flirt if he's shy. So if your crush is shy, I got you, girl. Pay close attention. #1, if he makes dirty jokes or innuendos, it is not just because he is looking at you in a sexual way. He is actually testing you to see if you will take that joke in a flirty way and run with it. An aggressive guy is just gonna hit on you, but a shy guy is really gonna test the waters first to see how you'll react.
What type of shy guy is she talking about here? Is she talking about the shy guys that are in movies? Because those aren't really shy guys. You know the shy nerd in a teen drama that's literally a supermodel, and all they did was put glasses on him, and then they called him a shy nerd, but he's literally a supermodel with a perfect smile, all 32 teeth, and a 6-pack.
#2, have you ever been in a group situation where somebody really singles you out? So it doesn't feel like they're flirting, but they're definitely singling you out and giving you attention even when there's other girls present. This is micro-flirting at its finest, and it means they like you. #3, when you get together, he is talking a lot, and it almost seems like he's been practicing what to say. Guys only do this when they really want to make a good first impression, and it means he likes you. These are the top 3 signs that the guy...
I'm going to be real with you, okay? I don't think anything she mentioned here is shy guys, okay? I honestly don't. I think everything she mentioned here is just like the regular micro flirting that guys will do when they're giving subtle hints that they're interested in you. Okay. And I think that this happens with confident guys and regular guys. I honestly think shy guys are the only ones that don't do any of this, because shy guys won't give you any signals except maybe just like looking at you. But when you look at them, they'll look away. Unless I'm confused, because to me, from my understanding of what shy guys are, shy guys don't approach you in person and don't even interact with you in person. Shy guys see you somewhere. This is, let me tell you for real what a shy guy do. This is coming from a guy. Shy guys will see you somewhere, right? Know that that's you, and then they will go back home. And after they see you at that event or that party or whatever, they'll message you, "Oh, I saw you there." And you'll be like, why didn't you say anything? "Oh, I don't know." That's what shy guys do. They see you somewhere and then they run back home and they message you. Because they're, or not even message you, because they're just too shy to actually say something to you.
I
don't know what type of shy guy she's talking about. Probably the teen drama shy guys that have six packs and look like supermodels.
Is micro flirting with you. As a relationship therapist, I've worked with a lot of shy people. Micro flirting is the number one method a guy is going to use to flirt if he's shy. So if your
or if he's just being subtle. I don't think that shy guys even do this.
Crush is shy, I got you, girl. Pay close attention. Number one, if he makes dirty jokes or innuendos, it is not.
You know what? Oh, wait, I want to address this.
Just because he is looking at you in a sexual way. He is actually testing you to see if you will take that joke in a flirty way and run with it. An aggressive guy is just gonna hit on you, but a shy guy is really gonna test the waters first to see how you'll react. Number two.
I don't like this advice. And I know she's a relationship therapist, so who am I to talk, because I'm just a regular human being, so what do I know? Maybe I'm an idiot. But guys could be making sexual innuendo jokes for a plethora of reasons, some of which don't include the fact that he's a shy guy. The reason I just don't like that is because then some people might think, oh, when he makes sexual jokes, it's because he's a shy guy and he's trying to flirt with me, or it's because he's horned up and he wants to jackrabbit himself inside of you for 90 seconds or less. And if he can do that and get closer to that by starting to talk with you about pineapples and intimacy, then he'll do that. I'm sure she's probably smarter than me, because she's got, a registered therapist. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just don't feel like that's accurate information there. Anyways, let's go to the next video.
5 things you should never tell a man if you're interested in having a relationship with him.
Okay.
Number 1, never tell a guy you are interested in dating what you are looking for in a man. Because what he's going to do is listen to everything you are saying, wrap it up in a neat little 72-hour package, pepper you with all of those things in advance. You guys call it love bombing, and then use that to get your panties off and disappear quick as a flash. And then people will say ridiculous things like, be upfront. Why are you lying? First of all, it's not lying to keep your private business private. Second of all, when you are dealing with serious things, even things like your career, they will always tell you, don't say what you want. Let them show you what's on the table. And that's exactly what you need to be doing to these men. Because if you show them, let's use it as a job. If you say you want 40K and they were ready to pay 70K, do you think that they're going to say, no, take 70K? No, most people, they're going to give you what you asked for. And that's men. Men are going to give you what you asked for. No more, no less. And I'm sorry, but it is tied to this subconscious arrogance as women that we have, that we can change somebody or we can make somebody be what we want them to be. Don't do that. That's extra work. Just find the person who matches.
She's funny.
Is your person, and then do that. That's way better. And also,
she's right there. And like I tell you guys, set your criteria, write it down if you need to. Use it as your scripture, your template for everything that you're going to be doing in the dating world. That way, when a guy comes along, especially when you start liking guys, you start to adjust and change your criteria because you want a relationship with him to work because you like him. So your criteria goes out the window and you pretend to forget everything that you actually wanted from a relationship. When you write it down, it's hard and it's already set in stone. So every time you look back on it and you're wondering why you're unhappy with this relationship, it's because that guy doesn't fit your criteria. And if he did, then you would be perfectly fine with this relationship. Okay. So it creates a situation where you can't sway from that or pretend like you're confused why you're unhappy in this relationship or this is not working. Okay. And you can't pretend to yourself that you should be spending more time with the guy who you're clearly wasting your time.
Also, do you think I'm going to give a man instructions on how to waste my time? Okay. The second thing you should never tell a man that you want to date is your body count and maybe bonus points for the last time you had sex, if it was recently, ladies. Girls. Never tell a man your body count because, first of all, that's just such a rude question to ask someone, in my opinion. Like, ew, I don't even know you. You're all up in my junk. Like, if you want to get to know me, talk to me, have a conversation with me. You will find out what kind of woman I'm on. Do your CRB check, which is just basically your background check. Like, find out, but don't just come and ask me direct to my face because are you...
You know what? This is a tough question for me to, not question, concept for me to grasp simply because I also personally find it a bit raunchy to just come up and ask someone that I don't know what their body count is. I personally don't do that. So it's hard for me to be like, because I'll never tell you guys to lie. I really am never going to do that. But I also understand that it can be a very uncomfortable situation for you to be on a date with the guy and he just upfront, what's your body count? Because that situation, of course, you don't want to lie, but you also that's not an appropriate conversation to be having right now. And I agree, which is why I usually never ask that, because I'm always of the belief as well that until we actually get to know each other and even discover if we're going to build anything seriously, honestly, neither of our body counts really is relevant, because why are we caring about body counts when we don't even know if we vibe yet? So one of the things I actually want you to look to respond to if a guy ever does this to you, and this is where it's going to be decision time. If he says this, you need to tell him, look, I have nothing, I want to have a conversation with you about this. And I definitely am open to talking about body count. It's nothing I'm ashamed of, but I just feel like that's something we talk about when we're actually sure if we're building anything here. And I just don't think that on the first date, we even know if we have a connection going on to build off of. That in itself as an answer is perfectly fine. If he is a mature man, he will be able to understand that, hey, body count, not necessarily something super important if we don't even know if we're vibing yet. An immature man who is too obsessed with our numbers that he doesn't even know how, because you could theoretically have a body count of 50 with complete strangers in a different country. How does that really affect him? Only immature men will be so obsessed with that they'll be like, no, we literally can't slurp our next, spaghetti thing here until I know what your body count is exactly, and you lay it out all to me on this very first day. Okay, that's an immature man. And then when you start getting that from him, when you give him the response, just say to him, oh, okay, I'm glad here. Waiter, can you come to go box, please? Yeah, I know I only took one bite of my spaghetti, but trust me, I'm ready to go. Yeah, I gotta go to bed. I gotta be up early, and just make your way out, because that man's too immature for you to build anything with in reality. Okay.
Are you normal? Are you actually normal? Ladies, can we stop answering this question? And no, man, I'm not asking because my body count's high. It's just a stupidly rude question that women have normalized by answering. Not to say it's our fault, but please can we stop asking? Even if you have a low body count, even if you're a virgin, just stop answering the question. Let them find out. Let them invest time. That's the thing about men. They want everything quick. And understand that the quicker you are able to slow a man down, the more success you're going to have with him. So stop answering. If he wants to know, he will invest the time to find out.
Yeah, pace, guys. That's a really good point that she made. Pace, guys. Don't get so nervy that if you don't answer every one of his questions perfectly, and if you don't do everything perfect, and if you don't tell him exactly your body count and it's an answer that he likes, that then he'll toss you to the side and go find. You do not live with a scarcity mindset. You live with an abundance mindset, brother. Either you wait for the answer when it's time for us to talk about it. If you can't wait, go find someone else to talk. I really just don't care. I don't care. There's plenty of men who will gladly take your spot and take me out on a date. I gave you this opportunity. This is an opportunity. If you can't use this opportunity to the fullest, perfectly fine. I'll find another candidate that'll be way better than you. You have to literally approach the men as if you don't even care. I know it sounds horrible, but that's when they give you respect.
And to be honest, it's just a super quick way to feel superior to you. Let me be very real with you. Because it's not even like men don't wife hoes, because there's loads of men whose wife's girlfriend, let's be really, really for real, have been around the block twice. And also, I don't know why women are doing this. If a man asks you the last time you had sex, please don't say 2 months ago. Like, I don't even care if it's a lie or whatever. I'm so sorry. Women always say at least 18 months. Like, I don't care. I'm sorry. Lie.
Yeah, I'm never going to advise you guys to lie just because I don't think that's ethical. Because when you come back to me and you say, Tomisin, you advised me to lie and now my relationship's over because that guy found out that I was lying. What am I supposed to say to you? Oh, sorry, too bad, so sad. That's unfair, right? So I can't advise you all to lie. Some other people might, so.
Because a man will judge you, lie. And the third thing, which is linked to that, do not tell a man that you are abstaining from sex or that you are a virgin. There are a lot of sick men who will see that as some kind of fun challenge or something to kind of break down and work on you to try and get you to break that. And the thing is, a lot of men love to humble women. So they love women saying something with conviction and then being able to be the one to break that conviction. So a man will hear, I'm not having sex till I'm married, or I'm not having sex for this long. And they will be like, bet, and plot on how to take that achievement away from you. Whenever a man asks you, just say you're not ready yet. When a man's trying to get you to, I get it, because you have to say something. Just say you're not ready yet, but you're enjoying getting to know him without pressure. Men, calm down.
So, what you're saying here is very interesting. Once again, I'm not going to advise you to lie. It's really ironic. The day and age that we're in, that women feel that it's actually necessary to lie about being a virgin is mind-boggling. Like, I'm quite concerned because what's the right answer? Men want girls with a low body count, but you also can't tell them that you're a virgin. Like, I feel like that should be something you're proud to say. Now, the thing that I do want to say about that, though, is because I know some of you guys watch me that are virgins. First of all, that should be something that you're proud of and that is not embarrassing to you. But you also have to understand, yes, that men you meet will see that as a challenge to be the very first guy that gets you, okay? And you have to know that you're fighting demons as a virgin. They're going to be coming at you left and right, okay? Every second of every day, especially when they know it to be true. Okay. So I just say that to say, if you're a virgin, you got to be so skeptical of guys and so protective that they don't get to put you, because guys are sneaky. They know how to get to put you in temptation's way, that they make it harder and harder and harder for you to continue saying no. Okay. If you're a virgin, you say no to going over to his house. You say no to any and every version of massages. Put away all the baby oil. Okay. You ain't Diddy. No baby oil for you. This ain't a slip and slide. Okay. No baby oil anywhere. He ain't giving you not a damn massage nowhere. Not a hand massage, not a foot massage, not a back massage, not a nothing massage. Okay, not even a nose massage, nothing. A temple, nothing. No oil, nowhere. Okay, you're gonna stay far away from temptation, especially if you're a virgin. Okay, because guys are gonna try and do backflips to try and get you to fold.
Number 4, I beg of you on my knees, stop meeting these men and early on telling them your traumas. Stop telling them about what your ex did to you, that your ex got away with. Please stop telling them that. Stop telling them how you've been broken. Stop telling them. Like, I once knew a girl whose mum was an addict, God rest her soul. And every time she would go on a date, she'd tell all about her traumatic childhood and what she went through. And baby, please stop talking. Please be sure that a man is for you, consistent, gives you his time, shows you his care, you feel his care on a regular basis before you start telling your traumas. Because like I said, there are some not okay men out here that will use it and use it against you. Please be careful about what you say to a man when you first meet him.
I 100% agree with that, okay? Like I say, I'm not telling you guys to lie. Just don't go on your dates and trauma dump on men, okay? Even if you have a situation that's currently happening, that, your family situation or whatever, and he asks you about your family, just be vague. You don't have to go into super detailed trauma dumping on men about everything that's going on in your life. Now, vice versa, when you go out on your dates, you get those men to trauma dump on you. tell you everything that's going on in his life, everything that he's been through, his childhood, where he's at now, everything that's made him sad. Why? Because it will let you in on who he really is, and it'll take that facade away. Now, the other thing that happens, and I know you guys don't like this, which is why you don't like getting men to trauma dump. It makes him more unattractive to you. Why? Because you can't live in your fantasy when he trauma dumps on you. Because now you start to realize he's a real human being and he's got a lot of flaws, and some of the things that he does or he says is going to ick you out. So you're going to be like, but Tomisin, I wanted to rub one out to the fantasy. I wish he would have just shut his mouth, because when he shut his mouth and I didn't know him, that's when he was so hot. Now he opened his mouth and he's trauma dumping. He's not hot anymore. Like, why can't I don't want to hear anything about him or his past? And I know, I'm smart. I know that's part of the reason you don't even want to ask, because you just want to keep rubbing one out to the fantasy. I'm telling you, do it. It'll help you in the long run, and it's actually best for you to take him off the pedestal very early. That way, when you're thinking about him or you're having anxiety about the relationship or him not talking to you, you're not thinking, oh my God, I'm losing out on the best man since sliced bread, or I'm losing out on my perfect person. You're actually aware of who he really is and his flaws, and you're not thinking, oh my God, if I lose out on this guy, then I'm never going to meet a guy like him again, okay? We don't want that.
And the fifth thing you should not tell a man that you want to get in a relationship with is that you're looking for a man with money. Girl, be quiet. I didn't say don't look for a man with money, but you don't need to articulate that with your mouth. Like, shush. Open your eyes. You will be able to see if he's got money. Open your ears. You will be able to see if he's got money. Use this brain when he's around you and what's going on. You will be able to understand if he's got money. If you want a guy with money, go and get one. Just stop vocalizing it, because the minute you vocalize it, a man has taken you down a peg or two in his estimation, even if he's got money, because you have now gone into the fold of something that can be bought and not something that has to be given time, worked on, given consistency. It's just, you are now just a thing that a man purchases, and whatever a man buys, he cannot love. I don't care what men say. If a man knows that your presence is conditional on money, he will never be able to fall in love with you. And
what the hell I be telling y'all, okay? I know that the show is called The Players Club, and so a lot of you guys think, oh, I'm going to be a player by playing him out of his money. That's great, and it's awesome, and sure, I want you to get money, but I also want you to get love, because the reality of it is, like I tell all of you beautiful, amazing people, getting a guy to just spend money on you thinking that that's going to mean he's going to be invested in you for the rest of his life is foolishness, because you'll only just end up getting played by rich men with disposable income. If I'm a rich man, if I'm a millionaire, I got lots of money and lots of money to spend, and I'm swiping through Tinder and I take you on a $300 date, and you're thinking that because I take you on a $300 date, that now, that means that I'm actually invested here and you sleep with me after taking you out on a $300 date, you're still going to get played. You might get a couple of nice Instagram pictures at Nobu or at a fancy restaurant, but you still get played and you still get trauma. And so what's the point? Okay. And like also what she said here is very important for guys. And I'm telling you this as a guy. Okay. When you're super money hungry and focused, that is when you get money the least. Oh, by the way, thank you so much to all the people who donated in the TikTok chat. Doing some good donations here. I appreciate that. So, yeah, anytime that you're focused on money, that is when you'll get money the least, okay? Please don't be focused on money. Sorry, I should say don't make it obvious that you're focused on money, because guys will, like she just mentioned, will never be able to take you seriously, and they're always going to see money as a way to get what they want from you. So it's funny, when your focus is on money and you convey that to them, they will also know that you can be bought, your affection can be bought, your time can be bought, and so they'll just begin doing that. So rather than investing in you emotionally, rather than trying to actually take care of you, rather than actually trying to be a good man to you, he'll just pay for you and pay for your time. And then when he wants to shut you up, he'll just give you more money. So he's not going to treat you well. He'll just give you more money. You might be thinking, oh, well, at least I have the money, and at least I have the bag, and at least I have the shoes, and at least I have the this and that. But in reality, all you have is trauma, because the items are worthless. Okay. They're just items. Right? And what will actually bring you true happiness is the love and the relationship. Of course, getting money and getting, nice stuff is great. It's amazing. I'm not saying you shouldn't want that. But in reality, you're only going to be miserable with all the stuff, right? Because when you don't have the man, or you don't have the love, or you don't have the relationship, that's not going to be a good feeling for you, okay? You can have both, actually. But you got to be strategic about getting it, okay? Someone says, no, I want items. You want items and then trauma? Hey, sure, perfectly fine. Go ahead and get that. I'm probably not your guy to listen to, though. All right, let's go to our next one.
My best friend rocked my world the other day when she called me and told me that her boyfriend of almost a year, a blissful year, mind you.
Oh, by the way, for those of you guys who want the TikTok accounts, go over to my YouTube page and watch the stream there, because there I have all the creators tagged in the corner there. I just have no place to put them on TikTok, but my stream is live on YouTube as well. It's just my name. It's right above on the top right side of the screen on TikTok.
Let her know that he didn't see a future with her. Now, this blows my mind for a few reasons, because they actually were a couple that I looked up to, and he seemed to be someone who had done the work. He himself is a therapist. My friend is one of the most emotionally intelligent women.
Therapists always have a lot to work on. Trust me, I know. I actually dated a therapist. Let's go on.
That I know. And yet she did not see the red flags, because even in a relationship where you feel like you have a good grip on what's going on, there are going to be secrets that your partner will have a hard time revealing to you until they can't hold it in any longer and they have to disconnect. Now, this happens a lot more than we think. There are people who live together, who have families, who have future plans, who have weddings that are happening in less than 24 hours, who are told by their partner, I actually can't do this anymore. But more importantly, we don't see the incredible and immense pain that this actually causes to our bodies and our sense of safety. We don't talk enough about this immense pain. We don't. She is in so much pain, and I'm watching her try to make sense of what happened. And the worst part is, really the worst part of it all, it's not even him breaking up with her. It's the way he did it. It was cold, it was heartless, and it was absolutely not considering her feelings in any way. A lot of you don't have to imagine what that feels like, because you've been there. You have been in situations and relationships where you have depended on someone, where you saw them as your best friend, your confidant, the person that you've been through hell and heaven with, only to one day wake up to the reality that they actually have a whole other life, a whole other set of feelings that they've tucked away in a drawer for you to never see, until today when they decided that, well, this isn't worth it anymore. And then there's this whole other layer, besides just feeling unsafe in your own body and not being able to trust yourself, there is shame that starts leaking in, and it starts asking you questions like, how could you be so stupid? How could you be so naive? How could you not see the red flags? How could you? And that only adds to your pain, because the truth is you couldn't see it. Because there's only so much that you can control in a relationship. There's so much that you can unravel and process. You need an honest partner who will actually communicate with you the hard things, okay? The things that they so badly want to keep secret. Those are the things that need to be revealed in a relationship, so that you don't end up in a situation where you question everything you experienced.
Okay, I'm never going to say that any one of you who have experienced this is your fault, but what I want you to understand is there is a way to make it possible to avoid this. Now, of course, you're always going to have situations where it's impossible for you to avoid it and there's nothing you can do. But you can take a little bit more control over the situation and hopes that it doesn't happen to you by doing this exact thing right here. And that is to never, ever, especially when it comes to men. Look, I care about you. I want you to know this. Never be satisfied with men saying, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong, don't worry, it's okay. Always, 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 always ask questions over and over again. Pull it out of him. Be his, whatever you want to call it, be his therapist. You ask questions until you're blue in the face. You ask him 3 times, is he okay? You ask him in multiple different ways to try to get these answers and try to understand him. You get good at letting him yap. Even if you have to start talking about football just so you can get him talking and yapping, and then you go into deeper stuff, right? If you really want to know your man so that you're not blindsided, get him to tell you all the great things and all the ugly things, okay? One of the things to also be looking out for, and I know that this sounds horrible, when you meet guys and you're dating them for months and months and months, and you guys are never having disagreements or never having arguments, it's not because he's your perfect man. It's because majority of the time he's suppressing how he actually feels to make the relationship good and keep you happy. That is not sustainable. And a lot of men are suffering from this, okay? Because it's actually not your fault. It's the men's fault. But I want you to get good at spotting this. A lot of men, they suppress so much, I call them the silent man, where even when they're offended by something you said or you did to them, they don't address it. They don't talk about it. They don't say anything about it. And you don't even know that you did something to them or hurt their feelings. They continuously do that, and over time it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds until one day you just don't do the dishes. And he comes on and he's like, what the is wrong with you? You don't care about me or this relationship. And he's knocking stuff over. He's throwing glasses against the wall. And you're like, whoa, what happened? And then he starts saying, back in 2004, where we were in a relationship and we went out to work in this work party, and you were making fun of me in front of my coworkers. Don't you understand how emasculating that is? How can you do that to me in front of you? And you're like, a situation in 2004? What are you talking about? And he starts bringing up all this stuff that happened in the course of your relationship, stuff that you never even remember, that he never even discussed or brought up. And you're like, where did all this stuff come from? All of that was being bottled up. Just like that. And he wasn't addressing it. Now, obviously, it's not your fault if he doesn't address things that were bothering him. But this is why I say when you get into relationships or you start building with a guy, never get satisfied with just small talking with him and keeping things light. Go deep, go heavy, and get him to talk about how he actually feels. Never be satisfied with, oh, I'm sure he feels all right, or maybe he's just quiet because he's just chilling or whatever. Get him to talk, get him to share. Never be satisfied with just allowing things to slide because you don't feel like you have a problem or anything's a problem, okay? You will end up with a guy who is suppressing all of his feelings and emotions. He's not going to say anything to you, and then one day he's going to come up and tell you how unhappy he's been this entire time, okay? Just keep that in mind. Now, obviously, like I said, there's some things you can't control, but what you can control is not being so naive that you think when someone's not saying anything that there's nothing going on. Don't be that naive, okay? Does that does that make sense? So let's go on to our next video here.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Men are a net negative.
Oh, damn.
In other words, in the natural course of life, if you as a straight
Someone
woman
sent this
date
to me.
a straight man, your life is already getting worse according to every measure.
Okay.
Science says you end up doing more housework, your health gets worse, you make less money, you're less happy, and more burdened, okay? That's in the ordinary course of a relationship with a man. So unless a man is actively doing measurable things to make your life better, you should not be dating him. Finances are just the minimum. It's minimum. It's not even equitable if he's paying for everything, because that's just offsetting the burden he is bringing into your life. According to science, because this is Psychology Today, this is American Scientific, these are the big science names that are telling you that marriage is shortening your lifespan as a woman, that it is making your life harder than it would otherwise be. So these people are telling you men are adding points of pressure to your life. Let's say a man just coming into a relationship flat is offering 5 points of pressure that you would not otherwise have. It's not enough for him to offset those 5 points of pressure by offering to pay for things and whatnot. He would need to be
What type of psychology is she talking about?
adding to be worthwhile. So he should be offsetting at least 10 points of pressure. because then you have gained by being with him. And that's the point. A relationship is supposed to make your life better, right? We already know what men are getting out of relationships. That's why married men live longer, are happier, make more money, have better health outcomes. Because it's not a question. Women are adding exponentially to their lives. Women make sure they go to the doctor. Women make sure they eat healthier. Women are the ones bearing their children and doing all the work, and that frees them up to make more money. Married men are seen as more responsible. So if the system is not automatically making sure you get something out of it, you need to make sure you automatically get something out of dating men. Because otherwise, all you're doing is giving. What you've done is taken on another job in your spare time. Only you're volunteering. You are volunteering to pay to make somebody else's life easier.
Someone said they're like vampires.
And if that's not something you're interested in, don't do it. And don't come to me with all that love-dove nonsense. Yeah, he does give me something. He gives me love. According to science, love is not actually making your life better. Men love to say facts over feelings. So facts over feelings. Apparently these married women, just love is not enhancing their lifespan. And apparently men are...
Okay, we get the gist of what she's saying. Now, here's the thing. I mean, in theory, I mean, cool, I guess. Oh, shoot. Let me grab my mouse. Okay, in theory, this is Cecilia. Okay, Cecilia. In theory, I mean, sure. Most men aren't adding to your life. Sure, let's go with that theory. But here's the thing. For all the rest of the straight women, that's not really going to do you any good, okay? Because the reality of it is, at the end of the day, all the straight women, they're still attracted to straight men. So us just, with the mindset that, okay, men are all so garbage that we really can't find any good ones out here, doesn't really do anything in terms of actually helping you get the result that you want, okay? So let's figure out, aside from just saying, yes, there are a lot of garbage men out there, and there are a lot of men that will suck you dry and take from you. But let's figure out how can we identify those men that will suck you dry so that you can avoid those men that will suck you dry. Because just like there are horrible guys out there, there are also some really good guys. And I know we talk a lot about what not to look for on the Players Club show, but that's simply because there's a lot of stuff that can confuse you that is actually not what you should be looking for. And of course, you're always going to have more men who are not what you're looking for than you're going to have the good men, because the good men are going to be usually taken. So we talk a lot about how to spot and realize that so that the men that end up coming into your lives are men that add to your lives and make your life better, as opposed to just taking from you. Because the truth of the matter is, like she did say, if you allow men to come into your lives and just suck you dry and take from you, not in a good way, suck you dry either, and take from you, they will do that. And also, if you have expectations and standards and you abide by them and you don't let men mistreat you, they will. You only end up allowing men into your life that are ready to live up to those standards. So it's really kind of your choice here. But I don't ever want you to think that there are no good men out there, just simply because like that ideology doesn't really serve you. Because what am I supposed to say? There are no good men out there, so just be single for the rest of your life. Like, let's be so for real. Let's figure out how we can find you a good man that actually fits the criteria you're looking for. Not just complain that there are no good men and then we don't ever have a strategy for you to find good men, okay? So that's always what I say to that, okay? I like to give you guys real strategy that you can use and build off of. We're not just going to sit here and be like, oh, well, life's so sad, okay? We want you to get somewhere.
One word, ladies. One word. Vasopressin. The one thing a man needs to fall in love. And guess how he gets it? Just guess. Guess. By us stressing him out. Okay? So the more we stress him out,
I can't figure out if she has a filter on or if her makeup is just that well done.
the more he'll fall in love with you. Okay? So you're over there, oh, let's make him comfortable. Let's give him a massage. Let's do this, let's do that. Let's cook for him. Let's make his life so peaceful. No. We just stress him out so he can fall in love with you. Okay? We got to do the Care Bear method that I've done a video on. Manipulation 101. Okay? Just a bunch of stuff. Tactics.
Okay, she's kind of saying the same thing here, but yeah, you get the point. So, and I talked about this yesterday. Why anxiety is always going to be attached to a guy going up to you and trying to get to know you. Hopefully, guys are getting to know you and going up to you, not you going up to men. And in the process of that, there's always going to be an anxiety attached to that, because if I'm taking a chance on getting to know you or putting myself out there, yeah, I don't know if you're going to like me back. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to want to date me. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to end up together. That's anxiety inducing, but that's good. Like, the process of it being anxiety inducing to pursue a woman and try and build with her and try to date her and court her is supposed to be anxiety inducing for men, because survival of the fittest is supposed to be at play. Only the strongest are supposed to survive and move on and breed and procreate. You don't procreate. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Look in my eyes. You don't procreate with soy boys. You don't spread your legs for soy boys or shy boys who can't come up to you or take initiative. You spread your legs only for big dogs. Do you understand me? Big dogs who can take care of you. That's who you spread your legs for. Not soy shy boys who you got to pick up off the floor or you got to go up to ask them out on a date. You spread yourself for big dogs and big dogs only. Are you following me? Okay. Let's do like one more here. Let's see if we can find
How do I tell her
That is way too loud. Okay, let's turn that down. Who is
I
this?
lost feelings?
Oh, this is someone I think a lot of you on TikTok know. This is KB, okay?
I be trying to tell y'all don't be trying to listen to me, man. Bro, guys could be laid up with you every day just like that and not have any type of feelings for you at all. Y'all really fail to realize that him not having feelings for you does not stop him from acting like he does. A lot of these guys just be wanting y'all around for the comfort. Like that one girl that they can just always go back to. It doesn't really mean, like, you feel me, like they plan on having like a real future with you, you feel me? But yeah, man, y'all should keep hitting me on the gram, man. I'm gonna try to answer as much as I can.
How do I tell?
Okay, maybe me and KB should collab one day, because I'd be seeing a lot of you guys be like talking about KB and Shira and all that good stuff. Okay, so KB said something interesting because I do think that it's facts that you don't want to fool yourself into thinking that the guy that you're with likes you simply because you guys are spending time together, okay? Because guys also love to waste time with you as well. It's part of the reason why I tell you, don't worry about silly things like small talk and him just complimenting you a million times. I know that it feels good, and I know that it boosts your ego and it makes you feel all warm and cuddly, but in reality, it's keeping you in la la land. We want to get you out of la la land and into the real world, really knowing how that guy really feels about you and what his real intentions are, okay? And the reason I want you doing that is because we don't want you fooled, right? We don't want you fooled into making mistakes and wasting time with the guy who actually doesn't want to build anything with you. Someone says you guys go live around the same time. Yeah, tell them, you guys let them know that you guys want us to collab and stuff like that. I'm not into hitting people up, but you guys let them know that we should collab and stuff like that. And maybe one day we'll collab. So I say that to say, make sure that you guys are not just spending your time living in la la land, that a guy can use you for that time and then just say like, oh yeah, I've moved on now. Okay, right? Does that make sense? Someone said shy question mark. No, I just it's not my style. I don't
Never.
If people want to collab with me, they can hit me up, type stuff. But I'm not into, I have a lot going on, so I don't have time to be reaching out to everyone.
You make sure that the other person loves you with the same depth, because the depth of your love today is the depth of your wound tomorrow. Never.
Let's do a different one other than that one.
The reason you don't get princess treatment is because you look poor. You look low
Okay.
value and not put together. Leaving the house wearing sneakers, a pair of ripped jeans, an oversized boyfriend t-shirt, no makeup, and throwing your hair up in a bun. The cheaper you look, the cheaper the men are you attract. And the more expensive you look, the more you will attract a provider man who wants to spend money on you. Because the clothes you wear and the way you represent yourself to the world is a way of communicating to men your standard and how you feel and think about yourself. If you
It's facts.
Don't treat yourself with princess treatment, why should he? And before anyone is trying to come for me, tells me how toxic I am or how easy it is for me to say, this is me only a few years ago, deeply caught in my masculine energy. I came from absolutely nothing, from deep trauma, hardships and pain. I had no money to my name, and this is the way I would walk around. I completely changed my life around by becoming more feminine and understanding the power of the way you represent yourself to the world as a woman. I started saving money, took any job I could get my hands on, from cleaning toilets to dishwashing. From the little money I had, I immediately invested it back into myself, buying myself better clothes and makeup. You don't need $1 million in your bank account as a woman to look more beautiful or more put together. Once I realized the power you hold as a woman in the way that you show up to the world, everything changed for me. I got better opportunities at work, I worked myself up in different jobs, I made more money, I met my provider man. I became more happy and fulfilled, not only because I felt
Skin glowing too in that last little bit right here. Oh my God. Damn, she was going through it then. She was going through it.
I met my provider man. I became more happy and fulfilled, not only because I felt more confident because I started showing up for myself, but also because other people were nicer and kinder to me and started doing me favors. Pretty privilege is a real thing, and instead of crying about it, accept it and use it to your advantage. This is the version of me that gets chairs pulled aside for her, car doors opened, always gets handouts and favors. And this is the version of me that was deeply...
Damn, she was going through it. Damn, is that a surfboard in her hair? What is that? Oh, it's a skateboard. It's not even a real type skateboard. It's like a longboard. She was going through it. Traveling on, she was going through it.
unhappy, hyper independent, and men wouldn't even...
What type of bag is that? I don't know what type of bag that is. Duffel bag? Damn, she was going through it.
Look at. If you want to change your life, if you want to attract your dream man, you have to change yourself first, and the universe will respond to it. So next time I come across on your For You page...
She must have been watching some makeup tutorials too. Damn, like she was going through it before. Let's go back to the other picture. She must have been doing some makeup tutorials too, because the other picture, she was going through it. Maybe she got some Fenty too on her. She got some Fenty Beauty. She probably started, she was going through it before.
Man, you have to change yourself first, and the universe will respond to it. So next time I come across on your For You page, actually consider taking my advice, because I'm the living embodiment and proof that everything I teach you works. If you want...
Nah, she ain't capping.
Want to learn more or work with me
yeah, she ain't capping. Okay, chat, she ain't capping. So at least you know she's not talking about pretty privilege and upgrading yourself and things like that. And she don't know what it means to actually do that. She's been doing that. And let's just be so for real. Like, I've been telling you this from a man's perspective. 100%. Okay, you got it. That's why I gave you guys in the very first point that we did here today. I told you got to treat yourself like a princess. If you don't do that, that's not even going to feel authentic to you. And when a guy does that for you, you're not even going to feel like you deserve that. I promise you, when she was in this state, of course, it's just a picture, we're having a little bit of fun here. I'm just joking. But when she was in this state, if a guy were to treat her like a princess, she wouldn't even feel like she was earning that, or like that's the person that she was, or like that's what she should be receiving from men. This version of her, right, obviously drastic difference, so we can see it visually, expects that. Okay, and see, guys are also like, they also see that and receive that as well. So when they see you, see how put together or not put together you are. And obviously it's not just your clothes, it's not just your makeup. You don't need Fenty Beauty to be able to do this well. It's the whole package, your aura, the way you present yourself, the way you carry yourself. All of these things put together, when they meet you and they're feeling you and receiving you, right? They're feeling if you actually are expecting a guy to treat you well and have high standards and give you princess treatment. They're also feeling if you're in this state of mind and you don't expect much and you're willing to take the bare minimum. So actually, I love that she added these two pictures, because they're like visual representations of where she was at mentally, okay? And how she felt about herself, or what she felt like she deserved, okay? I guarantee you, if this version of her was getting the same treatment as this version of her, that old version of her would be very uncomfortable even receiving that, okay? And what do you think the men in her life would be doing? If you feel uncomfortable receiving that, why am I giving that to you? Because clearly this is new to you, and you don't even think you're someone of value to be getting this. Do you follow what I'm saying, right? And so use this as a visual representation of how you need to change yourself inwardly, so that you can start receiving the type of treatment that you want. Because truthfully, this makes a drastic difference even for the men. right? And when it makes a difference for the men, it obviously makes a difference for the way that they treat you. So I actually love that she did this video here. And I love the great stark contrast. All right, chat. It's time. It's time for us to do something very special here. Spam in the chat if you know what time it is. You OG Players Club members know what time it is. If you're confused what time it is, I'm going to share with you what time it is. Don't look at the clock. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your phone. Don't look anywhere else in your home, because it's a special time. You're going to laugh and you're going to cry. We're going to do a lot of things, and you better not hide. Because score time. Yeah. Okay. Enough silliness, chat. Now it's time for us to hop into our Discord, where if you're new here, you don't know what's going on. All our amazing members of our Players Club community get an opportunity to ask me and the chat a question about their relationship or their situationship, and I answer it, and the chat answers it live on the show of what we think the best way to go about this is. Okay, so you have multiple ways of submitting your question. You can do first in our free relationship advice section. Just go to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in the description on YouTube. Click our Discord, go into relationship advice, and you just ask your question here and format it the way that it's supposed to be formatted. Now, it is a first come, first serve basis. So if you ask your question today, it's going to take me a couple weeks, right? You can see here our oldest question is 27 days ago. So it's going to take me a couple weeks to get to yours if your question is in free relationship advice. Now, you have another option. If you don't want to wait and you're impatient, you can use Relationship Advice Premium. Go to the same link in my bio on TikTok or the same link in the description on YouTube where it says Relationship Advice Premium. You click where it says Relationship Advice Premium, and then you donate to the show. A simple donation, and then you add your username and the title of your question, and I'm able to confirm that by looking on my phone, because I get a notification when you do that, and then I am able to see if that actually is you and your question. That way random people aren't just putting in their question in Relationship Advice Premium, because you get the opportunity to skip the line because I answer premium questions first. It's like a VIP pass at a theme park. Now, you also have a third option in case you don't want your information on Front Street and you're a private person, but you still want my advice on your situation. You can ask me a private relationship advice section. It's in our Discord there for you to click the link, or you can just get it by the same link in my bio on TikTok or link in the description on YouTube. Click where it says private relationship advice. You fill out the form, and I respond to you to your message with a voice message, and I send it through my your email, and I deliver it to you through there, and no one else sees it except for me. So you have plenty of options there. All right. Let me start off with our premium question first, which comes from Princess. Okay, so Princess starts off our date today by saying, "Is he playing me?" Date update. Princess says, "Tomisin, it's me again. It's been exactly 12 days since our last date. Let me give you an update. I was about 20 to 25 minutes late to the date." Damn. Okay. But I kept him looped at all times and apologized. However, when he saw me, he didn't compliment me or hug me. He just stared, which made me a bit uncomfortable. Okay, maybe he was a little bit agitated that you showed up that late to the date. Okay, it's not a crime for him to be a bit agitated. Okay, he's allowed to have feelings and emotions. Okay, he can get upset. So I went to the bathroom to check if I was looking okay. I'm not usually used to this. Guys normally compliment me, especially on the first date, and his behavior made me feel very insecure. I wondered if maybe he was just angry. Yes. But I'm not saying this yes as to confirm he definitely was angry, but yes, it's a possibility. And to be honest with you, that's fine. Okay. Like he's allowed to be angry. Okay. And actually, this is a great opportunity to see how he responds to either disappointment or anger. So it's great actually that let's see how the date went, but it's great that you actually got to experience how he treats you and what he's like when he's angry, because not complimenting you is not a crime. But if he starts disrespecting you, then that should let you know, hey, now you know when he gets angry, he's going to start disrespecting you. So this is a great opportunity for you to see how he treats you when he's angry, because it's easy to have a great date when he's happy. Okay, so let's see how this goes. The date itself was actually good. We spent 2 hours at a restaurant, and on his way back home, he actually hugged me to say goodbye. After hearing advice on TikTok and from you, I was expecting him to plan our next date. For more context, he lives an hour and 15 minutes away from me by train, so different town, or 2 hours on a slower train, which is cheaper. Okay. Oh, you guys said you can't. Oh, I am so dumb. I'm so silly. I'm so dumb. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay. I silly. Tell me feeling silly today. Okay, you guys, we're back now. Okay, so I was reading that. You guys were like, I can't see the chat. Sorry. My apologies. Here we go. So this is you guys, you heard me. You should have been listening, okay? So I'll break it down for you. Basically, essentially, Princess was like, you guys, I'll let you guys read from the top here. Princess was essentially going on this date with the guy. She showed up 20 to 25 minutes late to the date. And after showing up 20 to 25 minutes late to the date, he was a little bit agitated. She went to the bathroom. The date went good. They spent 2 hours together at the restaurant. They went back home. And now she's saying, after hearing your advice my advice on TikTok and other people's advice, she was expecting him to plan their next date. Okay, right? So that's kind of, your guys are all caught up. Now, what I was saying was that he might be sorry guys for taking that long to do that. I really apologize. I was in the zone here. Good thing you guys caught my attention. All right. My apologies though. Yeah. And so that's what I was saying, was essentially he might be agitated that because this is what she then went on to say. For more context, he lives an hour and 15 minutes away from her by train. So in a different town, or 2 hours on the slower train, which is cheaper. So what I was trying to say here to catch you guys up is that might be part of the reason. Let me scroll up a little bit for you guys to read. That might be part of the reason he's upset. Okay. Because when he's traveling an hour and 15 minutes, or maybe even 2 hours by train to see you, and you're still late to the date, I see why, he's probably already agitated from how long it took to get there. Not that has anything to do with you, but then for you to be, especially, see, here's the thing too. If, let's just say hypothetically, the date was scheduled for 8 p.m., he had to travel 2 hours, and he showed up at 8 p.m. and he's in your city, and you only had to travel like 10 minutes, and you show up 25 minutes late to the date. You can see how that can be a little bit disappointing for a guy, and get him a little bit agitated. Okay. Does that make sense? So you just have to keep that in mind, right? He's allowed to be upset. It's not a crime. And like you said, the date still went good, even though he was upset. The day after our date, we FaceTimed, and he was drunk and had attended a wedding. During the call, he jokingly said that I should come to his house. I could tell the liquor was loosening him up a bit. However, I said it's too early to come to his house, and he was still a stranger, and I want to get to know him better. Okay, let me give you guys, chat, a little bit of advice here. Something that I want you to never talk to anyone about that you know to be true, because I don't even want you to think that you ever heard this from me or anything. So we're not going to repeat this afterwards. If you go out with a guy and you're spending time with him, and he gets drunk around you, and you're not drunk, don't tell anyone I told you this. Use this as an opportunity to ask him questions that he would otherwise be too uncomfortable or guarded to tell you about if he was sober. You didn't hear that from me. Okay? Part of the reason why I advise you, just keep yourself sober on dates. If he wants to drink, let him drink. And then take that opportunity to ask him a lot of questions. Okay? You didn't hear it from me. But remember, what you're trying to do is extract information. You didn't force him to drink. You didn't force him to take shots. You didn't force him to do nothing. If he wants to be out of his mind, all loopy, all over the place, not knowing what's going on, and you ask him a bunch of questions and he spills to you what's really going on because he's drunk, hey, you didn't ask him to drink. You didn't force him to drink. You just stayed sober, so you were in your right mind. Just a thought. It's been exactly 12 days and he has not suggested meeting up again. I went to his hometown over the weekend for a shopping trip, and he seemed a bit upset that I didn't know I didn't let him know I was coming so he could see me. But still, he hasn't suggested another meeting or planned a date. However, we talk almost every day. Almost every few hours, and no, that doesn't mean anything to men. This morning, I decided to ignore all his messages for good, as I'm not too sure if this is actually going anywhere. I don't want to waste time. Smart. I tried to pull back previously, but he started double texting me, sending memes, and I just replied back, and we kept the conversation going. I gave him a few hints that I would like to see him again, and he kind of acknowledged my hints, but nothing came from it. Excuse me. I have sabotaged a few relationships in the past, and I want to do better now, and I want your opinion on this. Should I keep writing to him, right? Or should I ignore the messages for good? Why hasn't he asked me out again, or is 12 days still too early? Other than that, he's a good guy. Okay, here's... him double texting you and sending you memes is not conversation. Okay, princess, I love you and I care about you. And I want you to understand that some guys, while they might have a good heart, while they might have good intentions and be a good person, they're just going to waste your time. And like I did in a whole show, sometimes you just have to do the job of gauging a guy's interest level in you. And being honest with yourself about when a guy's interest level in you is just not high enough for this relationship to even be sustainable. Because when you're in a position where, cool, you guys went on one date and it was good. But if his interest level in you isn't intense enough that he wants to go out on another date with you after that, or at least, plan it in the near future, you just have to accept that you're wasting your time continuously. Like, look at what you said. Like, you guys are sending memes to each other, talking every day, and not one message about, you guys going out again. It is just such a waste of time. And you realize that, to your credit, princess. It's just such a waste of time. If he, it's one thing to say, oh, he's been busy for this time and he hasn't been able to text, but he definitely wants to go out with you again. It's another thing to say he can text you and have time to text you every single day, all the time, but never in the span of texting you will he mention you guys going out on another date. At a certain point, you just have a pen pal. And you can't do much with pen pals, truthfully. You're just going to waste time. You're going to chit chat. You're going to text. You're going to text some more. You're going to send each other memes. You're going to Snapchat a little bit. And 1 month down the line, 2 months down the line, you still won't go on that date. And understand that some guys are also looking to just waste time as well. They just want to have a buddy to chat with, someone to text all the time to feel like they're actually getting to know someone, but no real intention there. He can call you on FaceTime when he's drunk at a wedding, but when it comes to, actually being sober and asking you to come out or do something, he can't do that. It's just... Don't, princess. Treat yourself like a princess and don't waste your time. Don't message him anymore. And I guarantee you, he's not messaging you for nothing serious at this point. He's probably not going to message you for anything serious. Just truthfully. You said it's been 12 days and no mention of actually planning the next date. the ship is probably sailed. I'll be honest with you. Just don't waste any more time. Okay. So honest with you. Let's do our next question here, which comes from Queen Glam. Okay. Queen Glam says, "Hi, Tomisin. About a month ago, I submitted a question in regard to a man I recently met. In case you don't remember, we met on a dating app back in April. He lives in London and owns a house in my town, which is Marbella, south of Spain. He came in August to Marbella and had one date. He's been very consistent in his communication, checking up almost daily on WhatsApp and video calling a couple times a week. Sometimes when we video call, he takes me through London and shows me cool places. He's trying to connect emotionally and shares a lot of stuff about his work. He's an author of several books related to business and an advisor for companies and politicians. He's 50 years old and his career has been the main focus all this time. He's been respectful with me, showing me appreciation and consistency. He shared he wants to get married in general, and I feel he's testing me by downplaying his financial status." Okay. He's expressed several times that he has no money or even may go homeless. What? When he owns at least 2 homes and is renting a third one, as far as I know. He paid upfront the rent for an entire year of his apartment in London in a very good building in a eccentric neighborhood. He's always buying stuff and showing me some of it. He works on big projects and he's participated in several multi-million-dollar projects in the past. But when we had the date, he showed up in a Fiat Panda. When I drove a BMW myself, and I'm used to being picked up in nice cars. When I go out with my dates, that was really awkward for me and I made fun of it. He was clearly downplaying it. Come on. The fact that his work is very misaligned with his words and some of his actions is annoying me. Okay, let me give you a man's perspective here, Queen Glam. If he's 50 years old, okay, I know you haven't finished your question, and he's as successful, right? Author of several books, to businesses and advisor for several companies and politicians. Okay, he has real access and real resources. Let's not fool ourselves. You see, someone mentioned in the TikTok earlier that we watched, when you use your head to really see if a guy has money, it's not that hard to spot when you get good at it. This guy has money. Let's not fool ourselves. Let's not be silly here, okay? What you just described is not possible for a man who's on the brink of being broke and homeless. Let's just be so for real. He's also 50 years old. And if he's had this money for any period of time, he's probably used to dating younger girls that, are just more interested in money than him, okay? Sienna even mentioned he has multiple homes. Imagine he's talking about going homeless and he actually owns multiple homes. Don't worry about what he's saying, okay? What he's trying to do, he's 50 years old. He's trying to downplay, obviously, like you mentioned, his success and his financial status because he wants to avoid making that his personality. I'm rich. I'm a multimillionaire. That you become attracted to his money instead of him. So honestly, if I were his age, I might not go about it exactly like that. But if I were his age, a multimillionaire status and looking for money, I hope to be at that point when I'm 50 years old as well. I would probably be focusing my relationships on the emotional connection more than anything. Okay. And I wouldn't worry too much about driving the Fiat Panda because you have no idea what cars he has at his home or other homes. You really don't. And sometimes, I'm just going to give you a word of advice, some really rich men will go as far as to make themselves look poor just so they can gauge where they're at with you and how you respond to that, okay? Don't be fazed by the Fiat Panda. Also realize the Fiat Panda is not representative of what's in his actual bank account because there's a lot of people driving Fiats and Fords that have many zeros in their bank account. I want you guys to know one of the richest men in the world, Warren Buffett, who runs an investment firm, called Berkshire Hathaway. I know some of you don't care about this. He is a multi-billionaire. And you know what type of car he drives? He drives like a Chevy Cruze, okay? Like a $40,000 car, probably less than that, $30,000 car, okay? And he lives a very modest life for the multi-billion dollars that he has. You think if he started dating someone and they judged him because he pulled up in a Chevy Cruze instead of a Lamborghini and they stopped talking to him, you know how much the zeros they'd be missing out on? He's one of the richest men in the world. Okay, so I just say that to say, don't let this the Ford Fiat that he pulled up, or the Fiat that he pulled up in, don't let that discourage you from thinking that maybe he actually doesn't have money. Because I can assure you, lots of wealthy men don't drive super fancy cars because that's not a priority to them. Okay, all their money is in their bank account, not in their car collection. Okay, so just keep that in mind. He's moving to my city this weekend, and although I'm on vacation right now, we'll meet when I'm back. I know for a fact he's testing me by downplaying his financial status. I think he wants to check first if I'm really interested in him or just his money. But I don't like that he's hiding stuff and faking it. He probably has been hurt in the past. I get it. But honesty and shared values are very important to me. I already make a good living, so I don't need him. And I do like him, and I would like to continue seeing him or knowing him. Of course, princess treatment is the bare minimum, which includes being pricked up in a proper car. No pineapples yet until this thing with his finances is clarified, and also other things I need to know first, so taking it easy. He tried to kiss me on the date we had and I declined. He still kept pursuing though, for the girlies that are scared to set boundaries, okay? So my question is, how do I approach this topic in the best way possible without being confrontational? I'm waiting to meet him in person because I don't want to talk about this on a call. Thanks for your advice. I've been sending him hints I'm used to receiving princess treatment, such as gifts and paid vacations, and of course, the man always pays for everything on dates and stuff like that. Also, I've expressed I'm not interested in a broke man, especially not homeless, since he brought up the topic several times, as being homeless is not an option for me, and I'm not entertaining any homeless or poor people because we're in different realities. Even if his work currently hasn't been the best at the moment, he could still sell some property and get some liquidity. So I don't get all this BS. Okay, Queen Glam, I'm going to give it to you straight, okay? Because I want you to actually get the result you want out of this situation. Don't worry about the money. Okay, don't. Don't focus on it. Don't talk about it. Don't confront him about it. Don't worry about it. Let him do his process. He's just doing a process of trying to protect himself and see where he lies with you and what your relationship is like. Remember, you literally just said, it's in all of this that you said, you actually said that you've only been on one date, right? So this was, on the first date, right? He tried to kiss me on the date we had and I declined. Or I'm not sure, maybe that might not be the first date. But you've only had a few dates so far of what I understand. And here's the thing, okay? All of us in the chat, me included, we can all see this is not the lifestyle of a man who's on the brink of being homeless. Let's be so for real. How many homeless people do you think advise politicians and multimillionaires? None, okay? Do you understand how much money, if he's a consultant to multimillionaires, do you understand how much money multimillionaires pay for consultants? Lots of money, okay? I say that to say, don't fool yourself because he drives a Ford Fiat or whatever that, oh, maybe this guy actually is homeless. Don't be silly, okay? Now, the other thing that I want you to be very aware of, the worst thing you can do when a man actually has money is to be focused on his money. Because I promise you, he is actively doing this because he wants a woman not focused on money. So I know you're getting a little bit antsy and a little bit agitated because you're like, wait, why are you lying to me about how much money you have? But I can assure you, he will eventually make it obvious to you and real to you and tell you the truth about how much money he has. You can just pretend to be shocked, right? You can pretend to be shocked. Oh my God, I didn't know that you were a multi-millionaire with hundreds of millions of dollars, and you actually don't just live in the south of Spain, but you also live in the south of France, and you have a huge, gigantic 10,000 square foot mansion, okay? Just pretend to be shocked when he reveals that to you, okay? It's fairly obvious. In fact, it's really obvious. And don't be worried about stuff that doesn't matter, okay? And when I say it doesn't matter, I just mean, yeah, cool, he picked you up in a Ford Fiat. Does that mean he doesn't have money to get you a nice car or to pick you up in a nice car? No, absolutely not. Do you even know if he has nicer cars or better cars to pick you up? You don't even know for sure all of his resources or everything that he has. And so you don't want to mess up the relationship by being like, tell me right now exactly how much money is in your bank account. Because how are you going to confront him about that and then right after that tell him that you're not focused on money? And then everything that you're doing here, right? Because remember, he's doing all this because he's trying to gauge if you're only focused on money. So as soon as you confront him about money, he's going to say, oh, perfect. I'll tell you that I'm a multimillionaire, but now that I know that you're focused on money, I don't want to be with you. So when you confront him about the money, he's going to realize you're so focused on money and he's going to say, cool, now I know that that's all you wanted and I don't want to be with you. I don't want to build with you. So you're not going to see any of the money. Trust me, it's there. And trust me, actually, you should be happy and it should put a smile on your face that he seems to have a lot of money, but he doesn't seem to be flaunting it, because that's actually closer to wealth, being wealthy, than it is to being rich. Because when someone just got their first $1 million, what are they going to buy? A Ferrari, a Lamborghini, designer clothes, designer this and designer that, right? But when someone has old money and has been rich for many, many years, they're not concerned about buying luxury items that will make them look rich. Why? Because they're actually rich. Not just rich, they're wealthy. In fact, there's so many zeros in their bank account that they don't need to impress other people by flaunting their wealth in front of their face. In fact, there's so many. This is the thing. When people become wealthy, there's so many zeros in their bank account. They actually don't want people to know how many zeros there are because it becomes a safety risk. Okay? Walking around with all this jewelry and all this stuff that says, hey, I have hundreds of millions of dollars in my bank account can actually become like something that puts a target on your back when you actually have that much money. So realize that the people with real wealth are quiet about it. They call it quiet luxury because they don't want to be overtly obvious with the fact that they are multi millionaires or in some cases billionaires. Why? Because it doesn't serve them to do so. All it does is put a target on their back that, hey, everyone look at me. If you steal my credit card, I got hundreds of millions in the bank, okay? Or I have hundreds of millions in assets that, you can take advantage of or come to my house and rob me or whatever it may be, right? And you have to understand when people are having that much access and that much power, they don't need everyone to know, because the right people that are supposed to know and the people that they associate with know their power. That's the only people they care about and they talk to and they associate with. Excuse me. And they don't need the general public to know that. Does that make sense? Sophia says Mark Zuckerberg drives a 30,000 euro car. I think you meant to say, right? Think about that, right? Mark Zuckerberg is a multi-billionaire, right? Driving a $30,000 car. So just keep that in mind. I know Queen Glam, you like money. That's why your name is Queen Glam. Nothing wrong with that. Trust me, this guy has money. Okay. There are no people on the brink of homelessness that own several houses and are renting them out and also, participate in projects with multimillionaires and politicians. Let's get for real. Okay. Don't worry about the Ford Fiat. It's not an issue. You will get a black car. You'll get an Uber XL. You'll get, I'm sure you'll get a Ferrari and all the stuff that you're looking for eventually. Okay. Just be patient. Worst thing you can do when a guy has money is to be focused on his money. What do you think? Be the opposite of what every other girl in his life has been. They're all focused on money, right? He's not with any of those women, which is why he's single. Let's have you do the opposite and be focused on him and the human being and getting to know him. So in fact, instead of confronting him, I want you to never talk about money. Even when he brings it up, I want you to never address it. And in fact, I want you to press on the idea that I love you for you and the person that you are. And I want to get to know you. And I promise you, the more you press that, he'll eventually reveal to you that he has lots of money. Okay. Let's go to our next question here, which is going to come from the free section, because I do give that some love as well. A says in the free section, she says, is it worth it? Okay. Let's see if it is. Hi, I'm currently 18. Let's go to our next question here. It's not that I don't like any of you who are underage, okay? It's just that when you're when you're under 20 years old and you're dating men your age under 20 years old, there's no advice I can give you because what direction is an 18-year-old boy supposed to have? Okay? None. He doesn't even he doesn't know right from wrong. Okay, he's still learning about the world and how he fits into the world. No advice I can give you there. Kay says, was I being extreme when I decided to end the date ship? Kay says, hello, Tom. When I asked the what are we doing question, his response was, I'm not ready at the moment to his finances not being in order. Wait, what? When I asked the what are we doing question, his response was, I'm not ready at the moment due to his finances. Okay. Here's some history. I met this guy in January of 2023. That time I was talking to one other person. Okay. 3 weeks after meeting the guy I met in January, the current guy asked to be exclusive, so I did. I then told the other guy I can no longer talk to him because I had some other stuff going on. He said okay, and he respected my honesty. The exclusivity did not last but about a month to the guy having triggers from his last relationship and I didn't want to deal with that. 2 months later, I ran back into the guy I met in January while out with my girls. I walked into the room and saw him and said hi and went to be seated. He was on a date with someone else, so there was no conversation. Wow. The next day, he hit me up and asked how my relationship was going. I said I was single, so we started talking again. Wasn't he just on a date with another girl? Okay. Flora said 10-euro loss for being an 18-year-old. No, this is the free questions. If the person was a paid question and was 18, I would still answer it out of respect or refund the money, okay? I wouldn't just skip the question if someone paid. We're in the free section now. So these questions are just people that just submitted them for free, okay? Don't worry about that, guys. I either refund you your money if I'm not gonna answer your question, or if it's actually fits the bill, I'll answer, okay? But let's keep it over 20. After dating for 3 months, we had our first kiss. Then a month after we started having pineapples, we went with the flow and allowed our natural chemistry to flow. He mentioned that it's been hard to find someone that he had a real connection with and enjoy their company, etc. I don't know why it skipped over my head where you said that you guys had pineapples. Okay. Let's go on. After 8 months of dating, us talking about 4 vacations, spending every holiday together, and me meeting his kids, okay, I asked, where did he see this going? He said we were building and working towards a relationship, but he wasn't ready at the time due to his finances. After long conversation of us talking it out and what seemed like he was trying to convince me to stay, I decided to let it go. He told me I was being extreme, however, I did not agree. I told him I was in or out, and that was my decision. It's been 2 months since I walked away. He still reaches out from time to time, but I'm not giving him what I used to give him. What are your thoughts on is it possible we can get back together, or is it a lie to begin with? Excuse me. Actually, just ignore him. I'm moving. Good. Okay. Ignore him. Okay. KK. Ignore him. Waste of your time. If his finances aren't in order and that's preventing him from being serious with you and dating you, cool. Go get your finances in order. Come back to me and we'll see if I like you then. Simple. If a guy is telling you, I don't have enough money to date you right now or to be in a relationship, cool. You won't get any access to me. Go get some money. And if when you get some money and you hit me up, if I like you and I'm single and I have some time and I feel like it, maybe I'll entertain you. Very simple. You gotta start making guys making your life very easy and just, meeting men where they already are. So if men are telling you, oh, I can't date you because of this and we can't be girlfriend and boyfriend because of that and because of this. Oh, cool. So you're never going to speak to me again. You're not going to see me. We're not going to hang out. You're not going to get any access to my Squirtle or anything I have to offer you. Cool. You figure out your situation and how you're going to get to where you need to be. And when you do that, then you can maybe send me a message and I'll see if I actually want to hang out with you at that point. Very simple. Don't sit around and say, oh, well, I'm going to wait around until you're finally ready and you have this in place and your finances and that in place. And don't waste your time. Because what he's doing is he's trying to get a win-win situation here where he puts you in a position where he says, oh, I'm not ready for a relationship. And I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do this and I have to do that. You say, okay, you wait. And 2 months down the line, he's still not ready. 3 months, 4 months, 10 months, he's still not ready. And you're still waiting. As you wait and you invest more time, every time he tells you he's still not ready, you feel horrible about walking away because you've invested so much time. So the pain increases the more time you invest. And so every time you invest another day, it's that much harder to walk away. And so it's better to just put your foot down and say, cool, I got my answer. I'm not waiting. Okay? Committing yourself to a woman is free. You don't need to be a millionaire to commit yourself to a woman in a relationship with her. Trust you me. Let's just be for real. You guys being girlfriend and boyfriend or building up to that doesn't require him to, that's not a huge decision here. Marriage is a whole different thing, but the commitment itself to just you and being serious with you is not a tedious, hard process. This sob story that his finances are such in a tough brother. If your finances are in that tough of a place where you can't even, have a girlfriend, I'm concerned about your kids. Okay, I'm concerned about your kids if your finances are that tight, because I'm not really sure how finances affect your ability to date. Unless you're in such a dire situation that, you're on food stamps and you can barely even get Wi-Fi. Okay. In that case, you definitely shouldn't be dating no one. You should be focusing on making some money so you can support your kids. Because if your situation's that dire, you don't even need to be dating in the first place. Guys who are trying to convince you that their situation is that desperate and dire that they can't even date properly, but they can spend all funny that he says that, his finances are in a tough spot, but in the past 8 months of dating, you spent every holiday together, right? And you met his kids and you spent a lot of time together in that 8 months. Why didn't he spend that time getting him some money? It's just silly. Don't waste your time. Okay, don't waste your time. And I see here from your message so far of the update, you didn't. Okay, so don't message him again. In fact, if you need to, block him. You got nothing. You got nothing to do with him there. Okay. Let me answer some of these donations. And I forgot to do a donation from yesterday. I feel bad about that. But let's do these two donations from our YouTube chat here. Jay donates $5 in the YouTube chat. She says, a guy bought me a gift and I said, thank you. That's so nice of you. Is it enough, or how do I show more appreciation after the fact? So that's a great question. My advice to you would be, show him appreciation based on the gift. So, for example, if the gift is, Air Force Ones, of course you could say thank you and appreciate him for getting you the gift. Now, if the gift is a diamond necklace, you're probably gonna, really want to show him a level of appreciation that's appropriate to getting you a diamond necklace. You understand what I'm saying? So, just start, use your, you guys can think and for yourselves and understand. Okay, let me make this appropriate to what was happening here. And one of the best ways to, if you want to know how to really show someone appreciation properly, take the same level. So the exact same way you would approach someone if they really upset you or hurt you, and how you'd say, hey, we need to talk and have a discussion, and the music would be off, the TV would be off, and you'd look in their eyes and you tell them how you feel. Do that same thing, but appreciate them instead of telling them all the things that they're doing wrong. So use that same level of seriousness and focus that you do when someone doesn't do something that you like, to tell them how they've been doing the things that you do like, when you're really trying to show someone real appreciation. Okay, right? Does that make sense? Nicole donates $5 to say, you are not dumb at all, Thompson. LOL, we all love you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for telling me and spamming it in the chat. You guys be sticking with me, and I appreciate that, because I didn't even realize. Sometimes I just be so into it. I be so into it, I don't realize. But thank you for that, Nicole, okay? And thank you all the rest of you that made me aware of that, all right? So with that being said, that's the show for today. So if you guys have a personal question for me that you want me to answer privately, or a Discord question, go into the link in my bio, and you have both of those available to you. The link in my bio on TikTok, or the link in the description on YouTube, where you can ask me a premium Discord question or a private relationship advice question there. For those of you who are wanting to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Thompson_Tub. It's on the top left corner of the screen there, and the bottom right corner of the screen on YouTube. And you guys can follow me there. Keep up to date on everything that I do all times of the day. For those of you who are on TikTok and want to rewatch the show because you missed parts of it or came late, just type in my name on YouTube. You can even just type in my first name, Thompson, on YouTube, and then go over to my YouTube page, and you'll be able to go into the live section. You'll be able to see this live along with all the lives I've done since the beginning of the time. And the best part is you'll have the YouTube and the TikTok live chat embedded in the video, so you won't miss even a moment of conversation, okay? I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Figure out what time that is in your time zone. Until I see you then, goodbye for now. Sayonara, hasta la vista, ciao, salam, adios. Arrivederci. Bon voyage. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Okay? I love you so much. Do you understand me? I love you a lot. I hope you understand. A lot.